What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 10 nanoseconds chapter 89 The Monster of the Shueisha tribe. Advertisement. My voice continued until midnight, making Kakashi sleepless all night. When I woke up the next day, I still had big dark circles on my face. Look at the students again, not much better than him. Naruto got up from the bed desperately, his hair was crushed. This bed is really hard, and it smells like fish. And who of you stayed up in the middle of the night and scratched the wall all the time? Naruto thinks he is a good-tempered person, so he endured it all night before speaking out. Hyuga Hinata, who is grilling fish, pauses. You heard that too? Everyone looked at each other. Hyuga Neji was the first to raise his hand. Is it just a small sound like picking something at first, and then it turned into scratching the wall? There were 9 of them in a group, and almost everyone had the same experience. Kakashi finally sensed that something was wrong. That is to say, everyone was safe and sound last night, so that voice was. Kakashi got up quickly and caught a fisherman passing by their door. Why are there strange noises in your village at night? Kakashi's face is not very good. This sound lasted until midnight at 450, but he didn't realize that there was any danger. If the comers were really bad, wouldn't they? However, the person caught by him gestured for a long time, but Kakashi didn't understand a single word. Probably frightened by Kakashi's expression, the man's calf trembled for a long time, and finally pointed in one direction. Kakashi looked in the direction he was pointing, and found that he was pointing at a log cabin. After the confirmation of running again, the group gave up eating breakfast and went directly to the cabin. There is an old man living in the wooden house, and surprisingly, he knows part of Kakashi their language. The language barrier problem is finally resolved. Naruto immediately asked what was going on in the village at night. If only one person heard it, they all heard it. When something goes wrong, there must be a demon. The old man's face changed greatly when he heard this. In the village, there are monsters, monster. Everyone looked at each other, and they could clearly see the heaviness in each other's eyes. Exiting from the old man's house, Kakashi thanked him politely, and put down some of the change after thinking about his living in very poor conditions. The old man said just now that a monster has been appearing in their village since last month. Naruto rubbed his chin, lost in thought. Damaged many houses in the village and caused a tsunami, and it didn't come every night, but there was no regular pattern. It was rare for Gaara to say such a long string of words, but no one was surprised in time. Everyone was thinking about what they just heard. A monster doesn't come every day. So far, although the movements it has made are scary, at least it hasn't hurt anyone's life. Grandpa said that the sound we heard should be the movement made by that monster, but because it was far away, it was not affected, and only 10 people with strong perception could hear it. Kakashi frowned. All of them are extremely perceptive beings, no wonder they can hear movement when they open their eyes. But where did that monster appear yesterday? The old man soon appeared in front of them again. 9 people are being divided into 3 groups, separately searching for the whereabouts of the monster and 3 tails. Advertisement. They had to be extremely careful as they weren't sure if the monster would come or go during the day. The old man just happens to meet Naruto and Kankuro, and the Kakashi trio with them. You said that someone saw a monster yesterday? The old man nodded, followed by a young man with a pale face. It seems that he is still immersed in the fright he received last night and cannot extricate himself. Kakashi gave up talking to him and asked the old man directly. Did he see what kind of monster it was? They asked the old man for a long time in the morning, but he could only say the word monster, and no one seemed to see what it was with their own eyes. BGEJ. No one saw it with their own eyes, so the range is a bit large. After all, there are too many tsunamis. Even they can't do it, so whether there are monsters, or just the movement caused by the fight between 2 masters remains to be discussed. But Kakashi actually prefers the term monster. If it is 2 masters fighting, there is no need to come every once in a while. The master is not Chinese cabbage, not to mention there seems to be nothing special here. After careful questioning by the old man, the young man finally came back to his senses, danced and gestured, and chattered a lot. Although I don't understand what he's talking about, his terrified tone can still explain the thrill of last night. After listening to the old man, he is often ugly. He said it was a turtle. Turtle? Are you sure it's a turtle? Naruto has 1 head and 2 big ones? What kind of turtle can make them feel something, and can make such a big movement? A tortoise with long spines on its back and 3 tails. The old man patted the table excitedly. 3 tails, is that still a turtle? Naruto and the others, led by the young man, came to the place where he saw the turtle last night. The houses near the sea had been washed away, and countless fishermen were spared no effort to carry things with dirty faces. The old man sighed. They're going to move inland, away from this sea area. Since monsters like this sea area, they will give it to him. The simple fishermen have no intention of resisting. For this powerful existence, they just want to stay away while being in awe. Naruto clenched his fist. Isn't it too bullying? Because I like to make waves in the sea, I bully the fishermen here and move them away. What kind of turtle is this? Kakashi thought of a deeper level, and quickly called everyone for a meeting. What? That turtle could be the 3 tails we're looking for. Kakashi's frown has not been lowered for 2 days. This is just a guess. After all, I don't know what the specific shape of 3 tails is. However, today they went to see it themselves. The extent and scale of this kind of damage, if not for Kirigakure's absolute strength, this is the only possibility left. It can't really be an unknown monster, can it? But whether it's monsters or three tails, Naruto has decided to wait here. It is absolutely difficult to deal with something that can cause such a big commotion, but everyone has the same goal. Take him down. We can't let it bully the fisherman here anymore. Even the mild-mannered little Sakura couldn't help but speak. Kakashi nodded. In that case, let's stay here first, and at the same time find out the whereabouts of Three Tails. The tortoise is Three Tails. This is just Kakashi's guess, he has to do some preparations. Chapter 93 Tails appears, advertisement. Maybe they had better luck. According to the fisherman here, the time when the monster comes is not fixed, sometimes it will come every few days, and sometimes it will not move for 10 days and a half months. So Naruto and his team had been mentally prepared for half a month of no harvest, but 3 days later they suddenly heard the same movement as that day again. Kakashi turned over and sat up almost immediately. Naruto, Kankuro, Hyuga Ninji also get up quickly. When I opened the door, I saw little Sakura and Hyuga Hinata were already at the door, and they were about to knock on the door. You too. Little Sakura was interrupted by Kakashi before she finished speaking. Everyone go and see together, don't leave alone. Without knowing who the opponent is, the first thing Kakashi has to do is to ensure the safety of the students. I have carefully inquired about the whole village in the past 3 days, and there is no other situation other than this strange incident. If the turtle is not the three-dimensional they were looking for, then they will start all over again after solving it to find the whereabouts of Three Tails. No one asked why Kirigakure didn't send someone to solve it. Under Kakashi's hasty research, they all knew that Kirigakure was completely different from Konoha village, and this kind of thing was not under Kirigakure's jurisdiction. Unless the Shueisha tribe brought enough money to ask them to make a move. Pity. Looking at Shuxi's situation, Naruto thinks they are not as rich as himself. A group of people rushed to the beach quickly. No need for Kakashi reminders. Everyone tried to hide their whereabouts as much as possible. The scene in front of them made their scalps tingle. On the originally wide sea, a huge turtle-like creature was raising its head and howling silently at the moon. Under the moonlight, its 3 tails are particularly obvious. I don't know if it's because of anxiety or because it's too comfortable. The 3 tails sweep the water back and forth. Everyone finally knows how all the tsunamis are caused. It's no wonder that such a big creature tossing on the sea makes such a big noise. Naruto and Gaara have strange feelings at the same time, as if they should know the turtle. Kakashi held them down and instantly identified the turtle's true identity. 3 tails. This is the 3 tails Isobu we are looking for? Kankuro shrank his head carefully and hid behind the huge rock, watching the 3 tails Isobu making waves on the sea. What does he want to do? Why have you been doing evil within the scope of the Shueisha tribe? Or is there something he wants here? 3 tails seemed to be tired, and finally stopped making waves, and his huge body sank slowly. Now, everyone finally knew why they couldn't find him. It turned out to be hiding in the sea. Do it. With Kakashi's order, a group of students from Heron Village rushed out quickly. Naruto rushed to the front, palms outstretched. The originally turbulent sea was suddenly frozen, even harder than the land, and of course it directly stopped the speed of 3 tails' descent. Okay Naruto. Kankuro took the time to give him a thumbs up. Naruto is smiling. It took him 10 bottles of wine to exchange with Aokiji. Naruto has a lot of ideas since he was a kid, so it's no surprise that he can persuade Aokiji to teach him Kakashi. 3 tails was disturbed by them, and finally found that his whereabouts were exposed, and he still wanted to run under the trembling of his huge body. What are you running for? Gaara snorted coldly. All the sand and soil on the surrounding shore condensed instantly, and crashed straight into 3 tails. Kankuro and Gaara cooperated well, and the puppet in his hand was released quickly, entangled with the prism on the back of 3 tails. Advertisement. They have the same goal, and they are determined not to let 3 tails run away like this. If he disappears today, they will never find 3 tails Jifu within the range of the Shueisha tribe. Kakashi's two-handed mudra, a wolf form suddenly appeared on the frozen sea, roaring and biting at 3 tails. Thunder Tiger kills. Hyuga Neji and Hyuga Hinata, 2 physical geniuses of the Hyuga family, are much more straightforward, eager to pounce on them. Gentle fist method. 8 trigrams palms. The secret technique of the Hyuga family greets 3 tails Isobu as if it doesn't cost money. 3 tails was hit by Hyuga Neji and Hyuga Hinata, seemed to be finally irritated, raised his head high, his body stopped falling, and reappeared on the sea. Don't think that it will be slow because of its large stature. 3 tails opened her mouth, and instantly spit out a mirror made of water. Kakashi thumped in his heart, back, and he was still a step behind. The people who were seen by the mirror quickly found that there was someone exactly like them in the mirror. In the mirror, Naruto looks gloomy, and disappears without hesitation. Technique. For the first time among thousands of himself, Naruto felt that his trick was so intimidating. Ah! After hitting the clone by mistake again, Naruto was furious. The others are not much better either. Gaara will do the same in Gaara's empty sand wall mirror, almost completely blocking his attack. This move by 3 tails once caused countless ninjas to fall, but now 3 tails, who has completely turned into a beast and lost his humanity, made a move on everyone without hesitation. Since you won't let him run away, let's all stay. Haruno Sakura stopped quickly. Medical ninjutsu was released like money, and everyone who was injured by himself in the mirror only felt comfortable. The only one that wasn't illuminated was Kankuro. Because he only needs to control the puppet, he himself is the last one. Kankuro seems to have figured this out too. Kankuro, Naruto roared. The period of being friends with Naruto is enough for Kankuro to understand what Naruto wants to say. With his fingers flying, the puppet quickly rushed to the mirror in the water. The mirror erected above the water was disturbed by puppets and finally had no time to keep harassing the students. Naruto gave him a look of approval, and he was eager to stroke Three Tails. 4,000 rounds. 1,000 shadow clones can fight against Three Tails at the same time. Dare to create an opponent like him? Naruto gnashing his teeth. Three Tails also found that his water mirror technique was being harassed, so he changed his strategy immediately. Tailed Beast Bomb freezes instantly. Tailed Beast Bomb that can be used even when Jinchuriki is tailed. Kakashi uses Earth Style immediately. The Tailed Beast Chakra spins at high speed and immediately forms a high-density black energy bomb. Three Tails Gifu was completely irritated by them, and the shot is a must-kill. Mist Shinobi Technique. The best student from the Mist Shinobi Technique immediately confuses Three Tails Isamu's judgment. Fog instantly formed on the sea, and even the nearest people could hardly see. As for Three Tails, Gifu lost his way directly. Chapter 91 Bondage. Advertisement under the Mist Shinobi Technique. The Tailed Beast Bomb had already formed black energy, but the thick fog on the entire sea made Three Tails lose its target in an instant. The original noise and explosions disappeared at this moment, and the entire sea surface was as if they had never been here before, and the calm at night was restored. Kakashi pressed his hand down to signal them not to disturb Three Tails. Before coming, because of the special, 823, nature of the task, Corazon specially gave him a thing that can restrain Three Tails. To be precise, it is not quite right to call it restraint. In fact, they can only control him and make him unable to move, which is also to facilitate them to capture Three Tails. Although Class 1 is currently the most talented class in the ninja school of High Ninja Village, no one will forget that they only passed the Chunin exam more than a month ago. Even though it was to test all the students this time, no one would put the treasure on them. Even more so with Corazon. Kakashi met him before he set out, and Corazon told him when he handed him this net. It was made by Orochimaru in the first place, just to catch Jinchuriki's things. And each Jinchuriki has something different. Three Tails is a huge fishing net. The net that contains huge energy is gradually thrown away. Imagine how much this fishing net would have done to Three Tails if it was all over him. At least it will lose more than half of its mobility. Catching Kakashi's gaze, the students who released the hidden technique became even more nervous. Seeing this, Gaara's subordinates quickly closed the seal. Hidden fog technique again. Advertisement. The Mist Shinobi technique of the two is superimposed, and the fog on the sea surface becomes more and more strange, and even many places on the shore are shrouded in fog. Mr. Kakashi, if you don't do anything, he might run away. A familiar voice suddenly appeared behind them, Sasuke. Sasuke, who left them a few days late due to scouting missions, finally caught up with most of the pace at this point. Sasuke turned around and chased them after receiving a message from Uchiha Itachi on the way back to return to his mission. Even though he seldom rested on the road, it was still a few days late. But luckily caught up with the most important battle. As soon as Sasuke finished speaking, everyone suddenly felt the sea move under their feet. Three Tails is going to run as expected, so everyone had no time to chat with Sasuke. Even Kakashi simply nodded, and after handing over the control of the other end of the net to Sasuke, the Sharingan turned quickly. After a while, Kakashi saw the direction, put. Several students from different directions immediately let go of the huge net in their hands. Three Tails really couldn't find the group of attackers who disappeared in the mist for a long time. They thought they had already run away, so they wanted to dive back to the bottom of the sea. I didn't expect that as soon as I moved, there was a sudden movement above my head. 0.83 Tails Gifu didn't have time to turn around. His tail was bound by this net for an instant, and it was difficult to even open his mouth, let alone use Tailed Beast Bomb. This net is definitely not normal, otherwise how could even Three Tails be unable to break free? Kakashi's fluctuating heart stabilized instantly. At the same time, they secretly thought, it seems that they completely underestimated Orochimaru's ambition before. Chapter 92. Lin Nohara appears. Advertisement. No one thought that Orochimaru had already prepared something to catch tailed beasts, and made adjustments according to the differences of each tailed beast. You know, they don't even know what Three Tails looks like. Although Kakashi has a general understanding of the power of Three Tails, he also ignored the description of its appearance. That's why he didn't connect Three Tails with the evil monsters in the Shueisha tribe at the beginning. The seawater began to churn again, and it has a tendency to intensify. Three Tails, who was bound in the water, was rolling in the water, unwilling to be caught just like that. It is trying to take off the net on its body, so the movement of 16 is getting better and better every day. You must know that the Three Tails Gifu, who has completely turned into a beast, is like a small mountain. If it goes crazy, the tribes along the coast will be affected. The faces of Naruto and others changed drastically. Kakashi didn't rush, he can't get up. Corazon explained earlier that this net is fused with Orochimaru's own blood, and the more you struggle, the tighter it becomes. Three Tails can't fight against Orochimaru no matter what. Finally, Three Tails Gifu also realized that he was gradually out of breath, and slowly stopped his movements for a while. The tailed beast state was completely lifted after he gradually calmed down. It's amazing how big things are, and the seemingly intractable Three Tails is inside a human female. The huge tortoise churning on the sea slowly disappeared, replaced by a girl with short hair who was tightly bound by the fishing net and wanted to break free but could do nothing. Kakashi was shocked all over and said in disbelief, "Nohara Rin." Advertisement: Rin Nohara is a medical ninja from Konoha village, and a member of the Namikaze Minato class like Kakashi. Now Namikaze Minato is going to be a vulgar Hokage, but according to the time calculation, Sarutobi Hiruzen is about to step down to the 4th generation. Nohara Rin has been missing for a long time. Even Namikaze Minato only knows that she disappeared during a mission. Since then no one has seen Nohara Rin. They also can't tell whether Nohara Rin is dead, so her whereabouts are still a mystery. But who will tell him why the Three Tails, who was so manic and turned into a tailed beast just now, is actually on Nohara Rin? Rin Nohara is still dressed in Kakashi's memory, with refreshing short hair and black close-fitting ninja clothing, as simple as she is. If it is said that the 9 tails in Naruto and the 1 tail Shuhei in Gaara were sealed in their young bodies because there was no other way. Where is Rin Nohara? Kakashi clearly remembers that no 207 Yuan Lin grew up with him. He is a very normal ninja. Why does she have 3 tails on her body? As if hearing a familiar voice, Nohara Lin's struggling movements gradually became smaller, and she turned her head in disbelief. A gust of wind blows, and all the fog on the sea surface dissipates. Kakashi. Rin Nohara was also stunned. She has recently been unable to control the 3 tails in her body, so she let it turn into a tailed beast and run out from time to time. Finally, she regained control of her body while the 3 tails were weak, and unexpectedly met Kakashi and others people. Chapter 93 Gaara. Advertisement: Lin is a girl who grew up in an ordinary family, not from Konoha village. But she witnessed the tragedy of war with her own eyes, so she determined to become a ninja. The reason why she became a medical ninja was also because she wanted to save ninjas who were injured on the battlefield. The short brown hair has been soaked by seawater now, making Rin Nohara look extremely embarrassed. Lin. Realizing that this is really Rin Nohara, Kakashi quickly ran over and hugged her. Originally, I wanted to remove the net that was specially used to catch 3 tails on Lin Nohara, but suddenly thought of the 3 tails who appeared not long ago. Kakashi's hand stopped and he turned to hold Nohara and left. As a Konoha village ninja, Rin Nohara has been missing as long as Naruto and the others can remember, so Naruto Sasuke only knows that there is such a person, but has never seen it. When Kakashi called Nohara Rin's name, all the ninja students in Konoha village were shocked. Konoha village has its own way of teaching. All ninjas who sacrifice themselves will have a class dedicated to introducing them when they enroll. Rin Nohara's name is in it, but none of them thought that this female ninja, who Konoha village thought should have died long ago, was still alive. Not only alive, but inexplicably more 3 tails Jinchuriki inside. Lin's body is very weak. The Shueisha tribe is just an ordinary tribe, and the medical conditions here are not even as good as in the previous Bo Kingdom. Fortunately, little Sakura is here. As a medical ninja, little Sakura still remembers Nohara Lin, who sacrificed for the village as a medical ninja in the past. At this time, Nohara Lin appeared in front of her, which did not hinder little Sakura's admiration. She doesn't care about 3 tails and the like, she only cares about Nohara Rin's efforts. Advertisement: Medical ninjutsu is gradually emitting a faint light on Nohara Lin's body, which symbolizes that the hidden wounds in her body are being healed bit by bit. Nohara Rin's consciousness is not so clear. Kakashi dare not delay. Their must-do task is to capture 3 tails, and it has been completed at this moment. After telling the people of the Shueisha tribe that there will be no monsters in their village in the future, Naruto has no time to listen to their thanks, and quickly jumped on the boat back. Go back much faster than when they came. When I came here, I only had general news about 3 tails, so the group just analyzed while traveling, and experienced the customs of the country of water along the way. But now, Kakashi thinks it is necessary to bring Nohara Rin back as soon as possible. Compared with the ambition when they set off, the group was much more silent when they returned. Naruto, who is usually the most escaped person, is also a little quiet. Sasuke shot him a look as if he noticed something. Meeting Sasuke's gaze, Naruto immediately regained his energy, and challenged back as if he would not admit defeat. Well, you can still provoke yourself, it seems that there is nothing wrong with it. Sasuke was relieved and looked away. After he looked away, Naruto suddenly became depressed again, and he didn't even care about Jiraiya to share his reward for this mission. Naruto felt a little distracted, so he walked aimlessly. He didn't know what was bothering him, but since seeing 3 tails, Naruto always felt uncomfortable. Kicking the stones in front of him, Naruto suddenly found that there seemed to be a person lying on the lawn by the small river in front of him. Gaara. Chapter 94. Are you worried too? Advertisement. Gaara still likes to bask in the sun apart from practicing hard. I just look for a place to play cats, and I basically have no contact with other people in the class. Ever since Naruto met Sasuke, he kept his distance from this kind of person who has no superfluous expressions on his face. Not to mention boring yourself to talk to Gaara. Only his elder brother Kankuro is usually not only courageous, but also a little short-sighted. No matter what he does, he likes to drag Gaara along. I don't think I can see the murderous eyes of his younger brother at all. Naruto was wondering before. Although the personalities of the 2 brothers are not exactly the same, there is no need for such a big difference, right? It wasn't until later by chance that he realized that Gaara was the same as himself. 1 tail guards the crane. Gaara's face is covered with a huge leaf that 810 got from somewhere. It seems to block the strong light and make it easier for him to sleep. Naruto's kick just happened to kick the small stone on him. Now even if you don't want to say hello, you have to hold up a smile. Coincidentally, Naruto has a bad heart. With Gaara's bad temper, maybe he thought he did it on purpose and started fighting with him. Private fights are not allowed in the school. If you are caught, you will have to write a self-criticism. To his surprise, Gaara just glanced at him and put the leaves back on his face. Naruto didn't know, BGDC, what was wrong with him, so he got up and sat next to Gaara. Maybe it's because two people share the same illness? Celebrities don't know. He imitated Gaara's posture and lay on the lawn, looking at the blue sky and the clouds drifting by from time to time. The clouds are so beautiful, it's a bit like the big chicken legs made in the cafeteria. Advertisement Gaara. The sudden burst of blue veins on his forehead means that Gaara wants to strangle his heart. Naruto didn't seem to intend to ask Gaara to answer, let alone chat with him. He was just talking to himself. Or rather, Naruto was sure Gaara wouldn't say those words. Are you worried too? After a long silence, Gaara was a little lost in thought and was about to fall asleep when he suddenly heard Naruto's lowered voice. Worry? Gaara slowly opened her eyes. Three Tails Isofu is very strong, right? If one day, we are like Nohara Rin Senpai. They are all Jinchuriki, and one day they will be swallowed by something sealed within them, turning into something they saw in the Shueisha tribe that may not be the same as the Three Tails, but is certainly equally ugly and violent. At that time, were they still Naruto, or Gaara? Or is it completely turned into a tailed beast? Naruto's voice was muffled, which was different from his usual cheerfulness no matter what. Being rejected by the village since he was a child, even if he used a prank to vent his feelings, he still felt uncomfortable. Even Gaara is more direct than him, whoever comes is always stern and doesn't wait to see him. Gaara surprisingly didn't interrupt Naruto. If this was normal, he would probably have already let him go. After Naruto chattered again and again, Gaara sat up suddenly. Naruto was taken aback. This person didn't move for a long time, he thought he had already fallen asleep. As a result, Gaara has been listening to him after talking for so long. I suddenly felt that this person is actually pretty good except for his bad temper. At least if someone else listened to her complaining like this, she would definitely not be able to stand it long ago, right? Chapter 95 I won't, and neither will you advertisement. I didn't mean to disturb your sleep. Naruto was the first to clarify his innocence, and then Gaara gave him a deep look. I won't, huh? Naruto was stunned for a moment, what? No matter how difficult it is to suppress the power of the tailed beast, I will not be controlled by it, and neither will you. Gaara repeated, with an extremely serious expression. Naruto couldn't help but nod heavily. What has he been thinking these 2 days? Why is he worried that he can't control the tail beast in his body? He has controlled it for so many years, hasn't he? Yes. I won't either, it's not the tailed beast. We will definitely be able to suppress it. Naruto clenched his fists and turned over to sit up. Let's go. I invite you to eat. I heard that during the time we went to the country of water, several delicious restaurants have opened. What do you like to eat? Salmon? Or sushi? This time Gaara is too lazy to listen to his nonsense, just turn around and leave. Naruto didn't part ways with him as usual, but followed behind Gaara's ***. Come this way. The shop is here. Behind them, there are huge trees in the woods. Corazon sat on a tree trunk, one leg propped up, hands on knees. I kind of underestimated them. There was joy in the voice, and anyone could tell that Corazon was in a good mood at the moment. Originally thought that at such a young age, Naruto would definitely think of himself after seeing Three Tails. Corazon has already figured out how to deal with it, and prepared a few ninjutsu suitable for Naruto to teach him to distract him. Unexpectedly, Naruto suddenly met the determined Gaara, and the two comforted each other. Advertisement, to be chosen by the tailed beast as a person with penultimate talent. These two will be the mighty arms of his majesty in the future. Uchiha Itachi bowed his head respectfully. If it were someone else, he would never care so much about the status of his subordinates. Corazon's behavior made Itachi feel warmer in his heart. He picked the right guy. Your majesty is the one most worthy of following. That's right. Corazon turned over and jumped off the tree trunk. Let's go, we have other things to do. Nohara Lin, who was brought back by Kakashi, is still very weak. There is a possibility of being completely eroded by the Three Tails at any time. Seeking flowers, 0. Because of this matter, Kakashi has been in such a hurry these days that his lips are almost blistered. At the same time, they also figured out the truth of some things. Becoming a Jinchuriki was not voluntary by Rin Nohara, and she didn't disappear without reason, but was captured by Karigakur's people, who forcibly sealed Three Tails in her body. How powerful the tailed beast is, and the container of the tailed beast cannot be chosen at will. It must have a special physique that matches the tailed beast to become a container. For example, Naruto and Gaara, because of their special physique, the group will be selected. And Nohara Lin, also because of her special physique, was kidnapped by the Mist Shinobi Ninja and forced to become Three Tails Jinchuriki. Most Jinchuriki and tailed beasts are hostile to each other. Although Three Tails Isaufu and Nohara Rin have not reached this point yet, they have already started to fight for the control of this sentence. Before meeting Kakashi and the others, Rin Nohara couldn't even control herself. Corazon looked at the weak brown-haired girl lying on the bed, the corners of his lips slightly raised. Want to survive and continue to stay by Kakashi's side. Chapter 96 Get Stronger. Advertisement. Nohara Lin didn't know who this person was before. She has indeed received good treatment since she was brought back, and there are many people around her every day. Seems like trying to figure out a solution. Kakashi placed her here, and Nohara Lin believed it wholeheartedly. So she has never been curious about her situation, let alone asked where Kakashi is. Likewise, she doesn't know Corazon either. Nohara Lin noticed that the black-haired and black-eyed man in front of the 610 office contained a power that could destroy the world under the seemingly handsome face. She was trembling slightly. In other words, the three tails in her body sensed the danger and began to tremble in fear. When Corazon opened his mouth, Rin Nohara's eyes widened. How does this person know? Would you assist me? She doesn't want to be controlled by three tails, especially after meeting Kakashi. It's no secret that Rin Nohara loves Kakashi. Not to mention Corazon, who knew it beforehand, even Kizaru, who came over to see what the so-called Jinchuriki who was about to turn into a tailed beast, discovered this. As for Kakashi, it can only be said that some people are naturally slower in this regard. In short, Corazon doesn't think there is anything wrong with using Kakashi to seduce Nohara Rin. Only in this way can Nohara Lin, who has gradually lost her mind, gradually regain the initiative. Swear to submit to me, and follow me from now on, I can handle the matter of three tails. Advertisement. Corazon looked at her, as if waiting for her choice. Should he become the tailed beast Isofu who lost his mind and forgot everything but killing, or stayed by Kakashi's side and returned to the village to live the same peaceful life as before? Is this still an option? My lord. My lord. Nohara Lin's weak body made her speak intermittently, but it did not prevent her from expressing herself clearly. Corazon nodded, and the unknown Orochimaru who followed behind him immediately raised his hand. Three Tails, who was sealed in Nohara Lin's body and was ready to move, completely felt the danger, and even wanted to rob this body again to resist. Too bad Orochimaru won't give him the chance. Three Tails felt as if death was overwhelming. Nohara Lin didn't know what this pale-faced man had done, but when he let go of his hand, the chakra that kept screaming in his body really calmed down. The rest is just the weakness caused by the long-term occupation of the body by Three Tails. Before Nohara Lin completely lost her will, she heard the man she swore allegiance to speak again. I will only temporarily help you control Three Tails. If you want to last long, you must become stronger yourself. When the container is strong enough, it will be able to control the tailed beast chakra to a certain extent, or even completely control the tailed beast. Nohara Lin slowly closed her eyes, the desire to become stronger gradually took root in her heart. Now Gaara has begun to touch the threshold, while Naruto is still not accepting the Nine Tails in his body, plus Nine Tails was suppressed too well before, so his control over Nine Tails will be a step slower by 4.9. Corazon is in no hurry. He has already planned, 3 of the 10 tails have now been acquired, and the rest will be far behind. In the restaurant, after Naruto took Gaara to order, he didn't remember until he paid the bill. Because I have been entangled before, all the money on my body was emptied by his master Jiraiya. Chapter 97 Declare War. Kurigakur. Advertisement. After solving 3 tails, you have to use Shikai to solve the problem of Nohara Rin. Kakashi clenched his fists, and Sarutobi Hiruzen behind him patted him on the shoulder. Nohara Rin's disappearance, Konoha village has always thought it was an accident, but no one thought that it was actually a black hand by Kurigakur's people. The 3 tails in Rin Nohara is also inseparable from them. Although it is still unknown how Nohara Rin escaped from Kurigakur's control, but this does not prevent Kakashi from being angry with Kurigakur. In the first place, Corazon crossed his legs and formed mudras casually. 16 did a ninjutsu to soothe the nerves, and spoke in a low and calming tone. Kakashi's agitated mood was instantly soothed, and for some reason, his depressed heart felt much better. Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyelids twitched wildly when he saw his movements. Sarutobi Hiruzen can clearly see the ninjutsu that Corazon just sealed. It's never been done before. Your talent, I will be convinced. Sarutobi Hiruzen had no choice but to cup his hands. The corners of Corazon's lips hooked slightly. He has been exposed to ninjutsu for so long, and he can't learn to create a few small ninjutsu by himself. I'm really sorry for his reputation as a genius, right? The ninjas who have been thinking hard for several years to create a ninjutsu do not know what Corazon is thinking, otherwise they may strike collectively. Kakashi finally calmed down a bit, and put on one knee in front of Corazon. My lord, I invite you to fight. Corazon will not summon them for no reason, and every fool knows that. Advertisement. Combined with the country of water they visited last time, it is obvious who Corazon's next target is. Unlike the arch-rival Konoha village Sunagakur, Kurigakur is an absolutely mysterious and powerful place, many people just know about it, but have never been in contact with it. Even for the last Chunin exam, there were no students from Yuanian village. They seem to be independent from the 5 kingdoms, but the village is located in the water country. Now they don't know exactly where Kurigakur is, how many Jonin Chunin there are. Even this generation Mizukage has only been heard of before. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen, who has been in power for such a long time, has only seen 3rd Mizukage from afar once. See the mystery of Kurigakur. However, if Kurigakur really just made up their minds and didn't want to contact the outside world, that's all. But they just kept a secret on the surface, but they actually wanted to unify the 5 major ninja villages. Otherwise, the 3 tails would not have been deliberately released. Nohara Lin has become sober after treatment, she clearly remembered that she did not escape, the other party just sealed 3 tails in her body, and released her after confirming that she was out of control. Rin Nohara's instinct is definitely to go back to Konoha village, but she still has the heart of 177 3 tails who has gone berserk inside her. At that time, the loss of Konoha village can be imagined. Fortunately, Kakashi's mission this time cut off the opponent's plan very timely. Sarutobi Hiruzen quickly glanced at Corazon, who looked normal. Why does he feel that His Majesty seems to have known it a long time ago? Sarutobi Hiruzen shook his head, getting this unrealistic thought out of his mind. Probably because the calm and relaxed appearance of the Zunshan is deeply rooted in the hearts of the people, so it gives people a feeling that no matter what happens, he has a well-thought-out plan. Corazon sensed Sarutobi Hiruzen's suspicious gaze, and Shendu didn't even move his eyes. Advertisement Chapter 98. Advertisement. So what if he knew in advance? A butterfly flaps its wings, and a tornado may appear on the other side of the ocean. Corazon wasn't sure how much of an impact his butterfly was going to make, and it wasn't until news of the Three Tails' appearance that he was sure that the world of Hokage was going. So Kakashi was specially sent to lead the team. It's all really planned. But Corazon doesn't mind leaving more room for speculation to his subordinates. He has never been a person who likes to analyze himself. Corazon agreed with their proposal. Time to take down Kurigakure. The third Mizukage, Corazon doesn't have any memory, only remember that he is a powerful man, and the description of him in the original book is even less than that of Corazon. It can be seen how unimportant this person is. However, the original book only deletes the content of third Mizukage for the main plot, which does not mean that this third Mizukage is easy to deal with. On the contrary, Kurigakure comes out, and there is no one to deal with. Check out Kisame, who made Kakashi's head look like a bucket, Mitsuki and others, all from Kurigakure. Another thing that makes Corazon unsure. Will the 7 ninja swordsmen he summoned still exist in Kurigakure? If anything, it won't be so easy this time. The current 7 ninja swordsmen are equivalent to replicas, and the genuine ones are still in this world, but it is not sure whether they are in Kurigakure or not. Advertisement. As long as they are not there, there will be less trouble. Corazon does not want to rely on luck, and this time he will also go together. Orochimaru, leave the school affairs to Kisame temporarily, you go to backquote. Kisame, who was suddenly named, quit immediately. My lord, my classes at school can come to an end. The classes of Marashi Jinhachi and Tatsukusa Nobedo have just begun, and it is inconvenient for them to leave. The two named by him instantly wanted to rush up and beat him. You want to get us from all yourself. There is no way, a dead fellow is not a poor Taoist. Guixie silently lit a candle in his heart. They are no longer the original 7 ninja swordsmen. They followed Corazon to fight in the north and south, but now they are like a full-fledged Riwan. Even if he meets the same self, Kisame is absolutely sure to win. Corazon pondered for a moment, and agreed with Kisami's suggestion. Wu Li Jinba, Tong Kusao Yi Baron, this time I have worked hard for you. Tesoro will also stay. If you have any questions, you can go to third generation to discuss. Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help pointing to himself. I lift. Third generation, thank you. Corazon glanced at him vaguely. Before subduing Orochimaru, let Sarutobi Hiruzen drink tea with Sarah from beginning to end, but this time he plans to take a trip by himself. Of course, Kurigakure can't continue to let Sarutobi Hiruzen play soy sauce. Saru rushed back to deal with some small, good money, frictions between Sunagakure and Rain Shinobi Village, and Corazon took away Orochimaru. Isn't Sarutobi Hiruzen the most suitable to host the overall situation in the entire Shinobi Village? Tong Kusao Yi Baron and Wu Li Jinba looked at each other. Sukuru died to preside over the overall situation, so the two nodded to Sarutobi Hiruzen one after another. Dealing with the group of energetic youngsters in class is hard enough. As for the other chores, let's leave it to third generation who usually drinks tea. Advertisement Chapter 99. Go. Kurigakure. Advertisement. Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't expect that this time he came here only after receiving news from Nohara Rin, but he would be arrested by this group of people. Sarutobi Hiruzen opened his mouth. Corazon spoke before him. Kurisai Kushiwan, you stay too. Although Kurisara Kushimaru doesn't talk much on weekdays, but because of his good relationship with Marashi Jinhachi, the two of them usually have classes together. He didn't seem surprised that he would be left behind, and he had no opinion on Corazon's arrangement, and also nodded to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen, just when 267 wanted to say that you might not be able to handle it yourself, with so many people, Corazon left another helper for him. If they continue to shirk, will they feel that they are not capable enough? Sarutobi Hiruzen gritted his teeth and agreed. This time all the students stayed here, all the instructors have worked hard, and the village may not be stable recently. If you must accept the mission, you can only accept the sea level within the scope of the wave country. With Corazon not here, it's hard to guarantee that Xiao's organization will come up to make trouble again, so I specially ordered a sentence. He will not stop the students from challenging themselves. At this time, they will only draw a clear range to prevent them from thinking too highly of themselves. In short, Corazon doesn't intend to grow greenhouse flowers, he wants to kill the decisive ninja Anbu. Keeping Sarutobi Hiruzen is actually for an extra layer of protection. Advertisement. Hidan and Kakuzu are sealed, the Kesha organization and others may come to investigate. What's more, there is an untimely bomb Nohara Rin in Kirin village. Sarutobi Hiruzen knows it well. The reason why he stays is probably because of Nohara Rin. As a ninja from Konoha village, Rin Nohara is warm, innocent and kind, and she really shouldn't suffer these pains. Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed inwardly while teaching Rin Nohara himself. Indeed, as Corazon said, Jinchuriki is not a dead end. As long as BGBC, you are strong enough, you can definitely suppress the tail beast in your body. After taking the oath that day, Nohara Lin seemed to have regained her life. She seemed to have forgotten a lot. Although there was still a trace of sickly paleness, compared to the paleness when she was brought back, she had recovered at a rapid rate. Kurigakure is deep in the country of water. This time, everyone did not choose to fly by themselves, but chose to take a boat like Kakashi and the others when they went to perform the mission. Kizaru hid a bottle of good wine before setting off, and as soon as he boarded the boat, he and Aokiji sat down with Kakashi, who looked worried. They will definitely settle with Kurigakure about Nohara Rin, but there is no need to keep gloomy. Kakashi also knew that he had been deeply affected by this incident recently and did not reject them. From a certain level, Kizaru and Aokiji are responsible for the existence of active atmosphere. With them, no matter how dull the atmosphere is, it will disappear. Kizaru's heart can be seen early in the morning when he takes Orochimaru to drink. Madara, Kakashi may be too upset, just drink one cup after another. Looking at Kakashi lying drunk on the table, Aokiji put away the drunken look at the beginning, his eyes were extremely clear. What did you do? Kizaru smiled while packing the wine bottle. It's not that he was too tense before, let him relax. If Kakashi doesn't sleep, our lord will probably do it himself. Chapter 100. Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost. Advertisement. They have seen Kakashi's recent state. Although everyone gathered together only to follow Corazon, but fighting side by side so many times, how could they be called partners? Kizaru specially played tricks in the wine, so that Kakashi slept in the land of water. Kakashi only felt that he was very sleepy, and his eyelids seemed to be filled with lead, and he couldn't lift them until he fell asleep completely. The movement made by Kizaru did not escape Corazon's eyes. The ship they set off was also specially customized by Tesoro. It was remodeled based on their ship in Pirate World, with 6 floors up and down, and it was made of pure gold. Kizaru swims very hard behind the boat. Who told him to do something to Kakashi without Corazon's consent? Although it is also a good intention, but Kizaru forgot that what Corazon dislikes the most is problems among his own people. Aokiji sat in the stern gloating, come on, victory is just around the corner. They can already see the land from a distance, and victory is just around the corner. Kizaru continued to babble and swim. This is not difficult for him, most people are familiar with him. Kizaru is not afraid of losing face, the only Orochimaru who is not familiar with him is still a dead fisheye who doesn't care about anything. Corazon just glanced at him with a half smile, and Kizaru jumped off the boat spontaneously. Corazon knows that Kizaru has good intentions, but the trend of attacking his own people must not be encouraged. He can't leave any trace of hidden danger. Small punishments and big warnings to Kizaru are enough to make him remember that the Kingdom of Water is just around the corner. The place where they landed this time is still within the range of the Shueisha tribe. The people of the Shueisha tribe even remember Kakashi. After Kakashi and the others left, the Shueisha tribe calmed down, and there were no more monsters to make trouble. They are naturally very happy to see Kakashi again. Advertisement. It was still the old man who came out to communicate with them. Kakashi bit the bullet and stood in front of them to talk to them, and came back soon. My lord, the ship can be handed over to them to take care of. Tesoro was not there, and no one could put away such a large ship, so we had to ask the people of the Shueisha tribe to take care of it temporarily. Corazon nodded, and his wings suddenly opened behind him. Now that he has crossed the sea area, he naturally no longer delays, and gallops away after finding the direction. Behind them, the people of the Shueisha tribe who saw Corazon grow wings were even more stunned. They didn't react until they all disappeared and knelt down on the ground. ... Seeking flowers 0. Is this a god? The village of Mist Shinobi, whose territory is covered by dense fog all year round, is completely isolated from other countries, and even the people of the country of water cannot determine the trace of Kurigakure. Above the mist, Black Pickle lay and others stood. Corazon stared at the misty forest that was somewhat similar to their Heron village with interest, as this also the Mist Shinobi technique. There is no fog in Heron village, thanks to the enhanced version of the Mist Shinobi technique that was conceived after the Black Holea, it completely disappeared. Kisame shook his head, this is the natural fog on the island. That's why it's called the village of Mist Shinobi. Similarly, there are also countless blood hidden in this mist. As a Kurigakure ninja, no one knows this path better than the 7 Ninja Swordsmen. Who, unfortunately, their road is not smooth sailing. The big sword Sharkus is tied behind a bandage, and under the bandage is a blue blade full of barbs. Brown hair, a huge figure gradually walked out of the fog. The wings fluttered slightly, and there was no fog within 10 meters around Corazon, and it also made it easier for him to see who was coming. It's actually the ghost power of Watermelon Mountain Puffer. Chapter 101 You are not Hoshigaki Kisame. Advertisement. It's actually the Watermelon Mountain Puffer ghost. There are green lines on the face, and this majestic figure like a hill once again confirms its identity. Corazon raised his eyebrows, not to mention nervous, but one person in the crowd looked quite helpless. Ghost Shark touched his nose. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer ghost used to be his boss. Even the shark muscle in his hand was looted from the Watermelon Mountain Puffer ghost, 420. But, all these plots happened before he was summoned, and now Ghost Call is just an existence similar to a replica. In this orthodox Hokage world, all the plots have not yet progressed to the end, so the big sword Samahata is still in the hands of the Watermelon Mountain Puffer ghost. Kisame looked at the Samahata tied behind the Watermelon Mountain Puffer ghost, which was exactly the same as his own, and knew that it was his turn to lead the battle. Corazon nodded. Go. He had no intention of leaving the Watermelon Mountain Puffer ghost behind. Kisame quickly understood Corazon's thoughts and knew that Corazon didn't intend to let him live, so he jumped out of the fog and appeared in front of Ziguashin Puffer Ghost. Hoshigaki Kisame, it's you. Tsukayama Puffer Ghost was obviously very surprised. Kisame remembers that, as his boss, Ziguashin Puffer Ghost still has some difficult tasks for him. Looking at his expression, he knows that the ghosts in this world should still be carrying out tasks with difficulty, and will not appear in the Kurigakure. If you look at it this way, it seems that you don't have to fight with yourself. Kisame breathed a sigh of relief. Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost subconsciously felt something was wrong. Why did you appear here? The mission failed. Could it be that the people in Konoha village have already noticed your existence? Stop talking nonsense. Kisame slowly pulled out Samahata under the disbelieving eyes of the Ziguashin Puffer Ghost. Advertisement. There are actually 2 shark muscles. No, it's impossible. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost quickly reacted, and Samahata quickly held it in his hand. You are not a ghost shark. According to legend, the shark muscle is a small fish that follows 3 tails and is responsible for helping 3 tails absorb and consume chakra. 3 tails is Kurigakure's secret, and that's how Kurigakure's intersection with Ziguashin Puffer Ghost came about, so he can be sure that the Kisame on the opposite side must not be the one he knows. Even the shark muscle in his hand must be fake. Shark muscles are usually attached to the belly of 3 tails, and they can only extract a large amount of chakra from the stomach of 3 tails. Most importantly, the real shark muscle has recognized its owner. After Samahata recognizes his master, he will attack everyone except his own master. The dried persimmons in front of me are definitely not Kurigakure's dried persimmons. If not, then there is only one identity for him. Interloper. Damn the intruder, how dare to take the appearance of Hoshigaki Kisame and try to sneak in. Kisame thought, Lousy has nothing to do, but he also guessed that Ziguashin Puffer Ghost should regard him as someone with illusion and wants to break into Kurigakure. No one can believe that there will be 2 identical people in this world 2.8, so the guess of Ziguashin Puffer Ghost is the most normal. With the brute force of the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost, the shark muscle smashed in front of the ghost shark. Ghost shark quickly retreat. The sharp spikes on Samahata of Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost quickly pierced the bandage, revealing its original sharp appearance. If touched by it, it will definitely be torn repeatedly. Chapter 102 Intense Battle. Advertisement. The same shark muscle can exert different powers in the hands of different owners. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost has always used shark muscle as a tool that can kill people quickly, and used it to absorb the chakra of ordinary people. Kisame takes a different approach. Merge directly with Samahata to become a murloc. The originally quiet forest had completely lost its former tranquility. Kisame transformed into a shark, with the gills on his shoulders scrambling to breathe. At the same time, there are countless shark-shaped things slowly approaching the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost in Yuanchi. This time, the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost has no choice but to believe that the person in front of him is really a dried persimmon ghost. Although he doesn't know where the shark muscles in the 16 sharks' hands come from, he can be sure that Kisame has become a traitor. Rebellion. Kill. The shark muscles crazily devoured the chakra emitted by Kisame, and even food did not hesitate to absorb the sharks that rushed from behind. Kisame is not in a hurry. If it was at this time, he might still have to fight to the death against the Puffer Ghost on the Watermelon Mountain, but now he is already different from the past. Ninja. 1,000 copies of the needle. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost knows that Hoshigaki Kisame is not easy to deal with. When he was his subordinate, he was like a beast that could devour people at any time, not to mention that he has completely betrayed him now. So he didn't hesitate to use chakra-consuming attack skills. If someone else does it, he might still hesitate, but the speed at which the shark muscle absorbs chakra can fully support the waste of the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost. Everyone in Heron Village watched the fight ahead in a small area propped up by Corazon in the mist. Advertisement. No one offered to help, and even Orochimaru, who was always unwilling to waste time, leaned against a nearby tree with his arms folded and remained silent. They are ninjas. When dueling with others, I like to rely on my own history. Simple cultivation can only reach a height that ordinary people can reach. If you want to comprehend the unique nirvana, you must grow rapidly in this desperate struggle. A real battle is definitely not as rigid as taught in school. The brown-yellow hair of the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost had hardened, and it shot out like a torrential rain, but Kisame disappeared into the mist unhurriedly. Earth style. Not good. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost quickly turned around the second he realized that Kisame was gone. But he is too late. Big shark ball technique. The chakra all over the sky was made into a super large shark-shaped water bomb by the neighbor in an instant, and it appeared behind the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost. He has no time to defend. Unless Ziguashin Puffer Ghost is a pervert like Uchiha 153 Itachi or Uchiha Shisui who can make mudra with one hand, he can only take this trick. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost that was hit by the water bomb quickly broke dozens of huge tree trunks behind it, startling countless flying birds. He wanted to say something, but just as he opened his mouth, he spat out a mouthful of blood. This is not a ghost shark. He is aware of Kisami's strength. Even though the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost is afraid of Kisame, it is absolutely impossible for them to fight in such an overwhelming situation. Ghost Shark's face gradually recovered his own face, and all the sharks around him disappeared, leaving him standing alone. Chapter 103 Samahata only belongs to Hoshigaki Kisame. Advertisement. If he had changed people casually, the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost wouldn't have lost so badly. He is the first generation of 7 Ninja Swordsmen. It's a pity that the one who fought with him was Kisame, who was also a member of the Seven Ninja Swordsmen, and was even called the tailed beast without a tail. As much as Tsukiyama Puffer Ghost knows about Kurigakure, Kisame knows a lot more than him. The surrounding fog has no effect on the two of them, and the Zigwashin Puffer Ghost can't use the fog to assist itself at all. What made him vomit blood the most was, Kisame actually uses a lot of body skills. At first, Zigwashin Puffer Ghost didn't notice it, but he gradually realized that the chakra absorbed by shark muscle seemed to be getting less and less, so he had to start to control his own chakra consumption. Only then did he know that Ghost Shark had this idea. One wrong step and one wrong step. Ghost, move fast. Corazon had seen enough of the good show, and spoke at the right time. Kurigakure he must take, and, the person in front of him doesn't have to stay. There are still people. Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghosts are shocked. He thought he was the only one from the time he noticed the movement here until Kisame appeared, but there was clearly another voice in the mist. As if to confirm his guess, Corazon flapped his wings at will, and the spirit around him dissipated as quickly as if he had encountered something fatal. Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost's legs softened. There are so many. Corazon stepped forward and looked down at the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost. Well, it's a pretty good fighting ninja, but unfortunately he doesn't need this kind of subordinate who sells information to other countries before being mortally threatened. Killing intent flashed in Ghost Shark's eyes. Advertisement. The Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost wanted to escape, but found that his whole body was generally locked up, the hairs on his back stood on end, but he couldn't move at all. The last thing Zigwashin Puffer Ghost saw clearly was the smile in Corazon's eyes and the familiar spikes on the shark's muscle. It was the black-haired man who moved his hands and feet, so he couldn't move at all. Bloody. The huge body of Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost fell down, and all the chakra in his body was absorbed by the shark muscles. Corazon turned his head. Kisame, congratulations. After absorbing all of chakra from Zigwashin Puffer Ghost, Kisami's strength will be improved to a higher level. Kisame quickly released the fighting state, and laughed when he heard this. Your Majesty, the Watermelon Mountain Puffer Ghost is here, there must be others around, we have to hurry up. Kisame beckoned, and Samahata suddenly changed in the hand of Zigwashin Puffer Ghost, reverting to the state of the original three-tails fish, as if terrified. My lord, this shark muscle can also be your weapon. Ghost Shark knelt on the ground, offering Samahata with both hands, and his eyes were infinitely pious. Corazon looked at Samahata, who was trembling under his gaze, in Ghost Shark's hand, and pursed his lips. In the next second, Samahata in Ghost Shark's hand suddenly vanished into nothingness. Everyone was stunned. Only Kisame in this world can use this shark muscle. Corazon raised his head. The black-haired him looked extremely confident and calm, which moved Kisame infinitely. Come on, here's who he's after. Let's go. It's been too long. Some people may be in a hurry. Corazon tilted his head, and Orochimaru suddenly sprang up behind him. A gigantic white snake emerges, big enough to swallow a hill, with its mouth wide open to the fullest. A gust of wind hit, and the mist around Kurigakure was blown away by the white snake, revealing its original appearance. Corazon shook his head as if disapproving. Orochimaru, use wind style next time, don't call white snakes. Chapter 104. No contrast, no harm. Advertisement. Orochimaru, the summoning white snake, hasn't brushed his teeth for many years. He opens his mouth so easily and has such a huge wind style. Asterisk. Corazon felt the smell of white snake's mouth all over his hair. It's okay if he didn't say anything, others thought it was normal, but when Corazon opened his mouth, Kizaru couldn't help but raise his hand and smell himself. Orochimaru. Can snakes blame him for not brushing their teeth? Having said that, how can Orochimaru's power be resisted by the mist outside Kurigakure? Wherever the white snake passes, all the white mist disappears. This is the first time that Kurigakure, which has been known to be isolated from the world for many years, has been exposed to the sun so openly. Going to Kurigakure on 950 is different from other villages. It is said to be a village, but it is actually more like a city. Kakashi couldn't help but think, this looks like they have a lot more money than their Konoha village. This can't be blamed on Kakashi. If it's to blame, it's because he was so shocked when he first went to Nami Ninja Village, and that's the first time Kakashi realized. Konoha village is really not rich. Look at Kurigakure. Not to mention that it is made of pure gold like Kirin village, they don't have characters like Tesoro. But the buildings in the village are also very exquisite, with unique characteristics of the country of water, BGEF, it is very suitable for living at first glance. Kizaru couldn't help but raised his hand and bumped Dao Dao's ground before slashing. You look pretty good here. When they first came to Hokage world, they were shocked by the poverty here. Wooden bridges, wooden houses. A building that looks vulnerable and may even collapse naturally. Even Kizaru, who is picky, thinks that Kurigakure is pretty good. Advertisement. Dao Zibu Zan glanced at him indifferently, but said nothing. Kizaru. Damn, this kid is too hot. Aokiji tugged at his sleeve. Do you ever feel that every time you speak, there is a word written in Momochi's eyes? What word? Roll. Kizaru almost rushed up to fight Aoji again. Fortunately, there was another movement at this moment, which interrupted their conversation. Who was so courageous to break into Lingyan village? The dark and hoarse voice that seemed to come from hell gradually sounded. Kurigakure looks very quiet, almost uninhabited. Corazon sneered. They are making such a big noise outside. Kurigakure, who is always vigilant, must have known that someone broke in, so he was here waiting for them early in the morning. Pretending to be a ghost. Aokiji hates these people who pretend to be mysterious even though they can speak well, raising countless ice cones in their hands and flying towards the direction of the sound. A small building reluctantly bore Aokiji's anger, and after it collapsed to the ground, everyone could clearly see the person who spoke out just now. Kurigakure was indeed on guard. Third Mizukage was wearing a cloak with the Kurigakure logo on his body, and stood there quietly. There seemed to be no one behind him, but Corazon knew that people from Kurigakure would never be so careless. It must be waiting for him to pass by and catch him in the urn. Kurigakure, who has always been hidden, looks like this, but today he has gained insight. Corazon stopped, and a group of people behind him stood still, looking amazing. His provocative words are tantamount to angering the lurking mist shinobi ninja. Chapter 105 It's Orochimaru. Advertisement. Your Excellency came from afar, what's your business? Third Mizukage was not surprised to see that he didn't take the bait. He just stood there and looked at Corazon with serious eyes. Kurigakure has never suffered such a big loss since its establishment. It's been a long time, Third Mizukage. Corazon raised his eyebrows, not paying any attention to the killing intent in the other party's tone. Third Mizukage is not like Hokage Kazekage who just dedicates everything to the village. For Mizukage, the village is important, but their strength is equally important. Otherwise, Kurigakure would not have known that he was isolated from the world, but he would have disturbed a pool of muddy water by himself. Third Mizukage, like the previous Mizukage, also implemented a brutal rule. Under his leadership, Kurigakure hunted and killed ninjas with blood succession limits, and took away their abilities. Corazon knew before coming that it would be impossible for Kurigakure to submit honestly. The corners of Kizaru and Aokiji's mouths twitched. Shin Daozun, you really love to joke. You still remember the look of disdain when you mentioned Third Mizukage earlier. Where did you come from for a long time? It was obvious that Third Mizukage also knew that this was Corazon's unintentional politeness, and his eyes became colder and colder. The watermelon mountain puffer ghost should return today. I don't know if you have seen him. You're talking about the one who looks extremely strong and a bit silly. Kizaru put a hand on Aokiji's shoulder, his tone light and airy. Who told him to be rude to our lord? He has been killed. Jonin-level ninjas kill as they say. Third Mizukage suddenly moved. Corazon is calm as usual. Orochimaru didn't need Corazon to remind him that it was his turn. The two sides also used tentative ninjutsu to collide together. Third Mizukage couldn't believe it. Advertisement. Orochimaru. He never thought that the person who appeared in Kurigakure would be Orochimaru. Orochimaru is definitely an exception to Kurigakure. He's someone they're strictly forbidden to mess with. Third Mizukage wasn't even worried about them messing with the rest of Akatsuki's organization. Only Orochimaru is an exception. This man is strong enough to destroy them, drifting between good and evil, acting without principles. Third Mizukage repeatedly warned everyone in Kurigakure not to be allowed to board Orochimaru. Ask for flowers. But how could Orochimaru suddenly appear by himself, and he still has an attitude of obeying orders? Corazon has a smile on the corner of his lips, which is already extremely mysterious to Third Mizukage. A man who is enough to mobilize Orochimaru is definitely not a good stubble. Third Mizukage's eyes that have been closed all year round are no longer in the state of being slightly opened, but turned into unbelievable. 0. Corazon didn't rush. Let him look at him, but Orochimaru didn't have such patience. At this moment, Orochimaru is no longer in human form. He is pulled on the ground like a gecko, and suddenly a giant snake spits out from his mouth, galloping towards the face of Third Mizukage. The main body, White Snake Sage, lost his temper on Kurigakure after being disliked by Corazon, and quickly roamed around the entire Kurigakure. His huge body overwhelmed countless buildings along the way. The sound of buildings collapsing and the sounds of Kurigakure genin fleeing in panic, Corazon's eyes were still full of interest. Finally, Third Mizukage couldn't hold back, knowing that he was likely to be the target of Orochimaru's kill, and quickly concluded his righteousness. Chapter 106 Water Body Technique. Advertisement. Water Body Technique. Kurigakure Jonin is also a super powerhouse, and after receiving Mizukage's order, he is even more desperate to everyone in Shanghai Ninja Village. Kakashi has been gearing up for a long time, and now he will directly seal it. Fire-style Great Fireball Technique. As the saying goes, water and fire are incompatible. The Great Fireball Technique turned into a huge Great Fireball roaring away, facing the water sharing of Jonin in Cheyenne Village head-on. Do you like avatars? 540. Let it all be roasted in the flames. Nohara Lin's weak appearance is always in sight, Kakashi is biting his back molars, and chakra in his body is spinning wildly. Die. This guy is going crazy. Kizaru kicked out a ball of light and kicked a ninja who rushed forward, watching Kakashi's state and couldn't help being shocked. When they first met Kakashi of this world a few months ago, Kakashi was very weak. But now Hatake Kakashi already has a special Jonin demeanor, especially when he is ruthless. He can finally remind Kizaru and the others how ruthless the Kakashi they know is. The big mist shinobi ninja suddenly lost his mobility, even couldn't help but put down the chunin knife in his hand, and completely lost his look in his eyes. Orochimaru's killing blade. Those who have been hit by the blade of killing intent can see the horror of their own death through the huge snake eyes of Orochimaru's main body, White Snake Sage. Base. The ninja knife shone brightly in the sun, and Momochi Zabuzan took advantage of this moment to draw the knife and slash vertically. All the ninjas who have been hit by the blade of killing intent have no resistance in front of Momochi Zabuza. Third Mizukage looks very ugly. He didn't expect that just one Orochimaru cost him dozens of elites. Advertisement. This war is more tragic than he thought. Third Mizukage almost gritted his teeth and said, Hoshigaki Kisame, Peach Land never cut, Ghost Lantern full moon. How dare you betray Kurigakure? Traitor. He is the most shameless and disgusting ninja. The traitor appeared majestically in front of his eyes, and he did not hesitate to attack Kurigakure's ninjas, which stimulated everyone in Kurigakure even more. Third Mizukage is cruel, but he is also smart enough. A simple sentence revived the spirits of the decadent Kurigakure ninjas. Opposite them is the betrayer. Betrayed their village. Gaidong Manu was merciless with 2 knives in his hands, and sneered when he heard the words, that's a lot to talk about. Kisame couldn't be bothered to listen to what he was saying, and the fused muscles of raising his hand transformed into thousands of sharks. Every shark has a big mouth, and the sharp teeth needless to say are the best killing weapons. So what if 7 ninja swordsmen came from Kurigakure? No matter how much they have done for Kurigakure, they still have to be oppressed by their superiors in the end. The so-called Kurigakure is just a place where the weak eat the strong. Here, there are no partners, no family members, some just fight and kill each other, only the cold light in the eyes. If you are not strong enough, you can only be fished by mermaids. This is Kurigakure's law of survival. 0.6. Thinking that there are so many little kids in Heron Village waiting for him to go back to class, Kisame snorted heavily, who would be willing to be with you? They are summoned by Corazon, but they have a new life because of it. The 7 ninja swordsmen are even more grateful to Corazon. Although they never say it, they have already decided to follow him to the death. Chapter 107 Kizaru Strikes. Advertisement. Fighting was hot around. Kizaru suddenly noticed that someone pinched his shoulders and threw him into the battle. Kizaru, the culprit, Corazon, rubbed his chin and laughed like a fox. Bringing them out is to fight with hands, how can there be everyone talking like Kizaru from the beginning to the end? Even Aokiji chose to team up with Kakashi, one freezes the other fire style, and the scalp of the mist shinobi ninja who was directly killed by ice and fire is numb. Kizaru was going to break out from the east. But to the east, Orochimaru's main body, the White Snake, is destroying buildings with impunity, and Orochimaru's third Mizukage is also fighting at the same time. When these two fight, there is no room for Huang 16 Yuan to intervene. Kizaru managed to avoid the flying bricks because the White Snake was too violent, but was summoned by Orochimaru because a snake's tail accidentally swept the whole person and almost fell down. Okay. Dong Mian seems to have no pressure at all, and he doesn't need to intervene. Then go south. At Kizaru's speed, it's just a blink of an eye to circle south of Kurigakure. Too bad he's still late. Kisame and Momoji Zabujan basically have no opponents in the south, and any mist shinobi ninja who meets them will either run away or kneel down and beg for mercy. Those with a little blood will die instantly in front of them. As expected of a tailless beast and the most ferocious man. The plan to rush into the central area from the south seemed to have failed again. Kizaru's eyes rolled, and the speed was so fast that it was dazzling. Stop, or you will blame yourself if you are accidentally injured. The cold voice of the ghost lamp full moon rang in Kizaru's ear. Advertisement. Okay. It turns out that he is in the west, so it seems that there is no more play here. As for the north side, Kakashi, who was already irritable, got angry and became more aggressive. Aokiji, who likes to be lazy, will not change his nature when he is on the battlefield. He smiles and follows from time to time after the sacrifice. Although Aokiji has few shots, he almost hits every shot, and except for hitting Kurigakure ninjas, he almost destroys a house, which can be called a destructive machine. Kizaru touched his chin, so his majesty threw him in just to let him be accidentally injured by his own people. Fighting in all 4 directions is in full swing, there is no room for him to intervene. Kizaru thought for a moment, and quickly made a choice between going back and being crushed and beaten by Corazon or being rejected by his teammates, so he immediately yelled. He Fang Xiaoxiao actually dared to attack Ghost Lantern. Don't be afraid of Ghost Lantern. I'll help you. Ghost Lantern Full Moon who chopped down 2 ninjas with 1 knife. In astonishment, Kizaru rushed into his dense knife net without even having time to guard against it. Then I saw Kizaru screaming and pinching the ball of light. Kizaru with the expression, I've been waiting for a long time and can't wait for 583 to fight, made Ghost Lantern Moon want to stab him twice. Whoosh. Sound. The hair on the back of Kizaru's head almost stood up, and the sense of crisis at the critical moment made him take a big step back to the right. A very familiar ninja knife was very accurately stabbed at the position where he had just stood, Kizaru black line. Ghost Lantern Moon seemed to have missed, and calmly pulled out the ninja knife. The aim is a little bit off, sorry. Kizaru thought, I believe you're evil. Can the Ghost Full Moon who is proficient in manipulating 7 ninja knives miss his head? It's easier for him to believe it by telling him that Jiraiya never cheated Naruto out of money. Chapter 108 Me, Who Dares? Advertisement. The 4 directions were completely broken through. Third Mizukage opened his eyes wide, and the fundus of his eyes was gradually stained with blood. Orochimaru, I know you are strong, but don't be complacent. Moisture began to fill the area around Third Mizukage. Surrounded by 2 giant snakes, Orochimaru folded his arms and seemed to ignore his final warning. Go to hell. Suddenly, Third Mizukage burst out an astonishing burst of chakra, and the water vapor condensed into the strongest water bomb in an instant, bringing all of Third Mizukage's chakra all aimed at Orochimaru. Orochimaru frowned. Something is wrong with 3rd Mizukage. Little did they know that this is the strongest ninjutsu researched by 3rd Mizukage himself after killing countless blood-successful geniuses. The human body is also composed of water. Even though Orochimaru wants to surpass the mortal body, he is still working hard. 3rd Mizukage's control of water has reached perfection. Orochimaru is not afraid of him, but he senses the threat himself. Looking at the strongest ninjutsu water bomb summoned by 3rd Mizukage as a sacrifice, Orochimaru narrowed his eyes. After this blow, 3rd Mizukage would never survive, so he made up his mind to drag Orochimaru to die with him. On the nick of time, suddenly a huge wall of fire appeared in the sky. No, it may not be accurate to say that it is a wall of fire, because it is more like a wall of fire. A burning fire wall standing in midair, just enough to block all water bombs. Advertisement. Orochimaru's pupils shrank suddenly. Corazon said in a drawn-out tone, "Tisk, the so-called strongest Kurigakure can only hold on for so long. There is no more chakra in 3rd Mizukage's body, he only has his last breath left now, just to see how Orochimaru dies with him." But no one expected that someone would intervene and completely block his strongest blow. Corazon blinked and spread his hands in surprise. 3rd Mizukage, that's all. The wall of fire came whistling, and after Corazon's voice hit the ground, it jumped even higher, countless fireballs rolled down, and the most solemn Kurigakure in the past was completely destroyed in the hands of this man. 3rd Mizukage looked at Corazon with red eyes, but he could not defeat this godlike man after all. Orochimaru. Corazon turned his head. Orochimaru, who was in a daze, seemed to come back to his senses suddenly, and quickly connected to the meaning of Corazon. The main body white snake sage opened its bloody mouth, and swallowed the 3rd Mizukage who had completely lost its fighting ability in one gulp. 3rd generation project. All the ninjas in Kurigakure couldn't believe what they saw. Their once most powerful Mizukage just fell. The system of Kurigakure is much stricter than that of other ninja villages. It believes in absolute powerhouses. The Mizukages of the past were the strongest people in Kurigakure. Now that 3rd Mizukage has suddenly fallen, the people of Kurigakure seem to have lost their backbone, and even Qian Dezhao no longer resist. Lost the ability to resist. The enemy is not within the killing range of the people in Hiren village. Corazon wanted to take down Kurigakure, but he did not order the village to be massacred. So everyone is ruthless, but at the same time keep a sense of proportion. Although Kurigakure's vitality has been greatly injured, as long as they are given time, they may not be able to recover. The sudden fall of the leader plunged the whole Kurigakure into endless panic, and the unknown powerful enemy made them even more worried and afraid. Chapter 109 Ending the Smoke of Gunfire 4th Mizukage Yagura. Advertisement. Finally, all gunpowder stops at dusk. Orochimaru held the knife left by 3rd Mizukage in his hand, and like the most devout believer, he raised it above his head and knelt down in front of Corazon. Good job. Corazon gave him an appreciative look. Kizaru took the lead, everyone in Kirin village cheered. They took down the 3rd ninja village. The 5 major ninja villages are also the most difficult to deal with, and now they have won 3, while the Yinan village is not within their attack range. The most powerful, Cage, does not exist in Yinan village, and the senior elders in the village are still special Jonin today. The most special thing about 373 is that Odonin village was founded by Orochimaru. After Orochimaru chose Corazon, Yinan village has gradually begun to shake. Corazon doesn't intend to urge, anyway, the elders of Yinan village will take the initiative to come to the door sooner or later. Even if Orochimaru is no longer the leader of Odonin village, his old prestige still exists. Your Majesty, all Kurigakure have chosen to surrender, should the sign of Kirin village be laid down here? Momochi Zabuza asked what everyone was most concerned about. Corazon shook his head and looked straight at the past. All the ninjas in Kurigakure, regardless of their strength, are now staying not far from him. Although some people still had unyielding light in their eyes, they still didn't choose to make a move in the end. From today, Yuanian village. The Kurigakure ninja felt as if his heart had been grabbed by something, just waiting for Corazon to finish his sentence. Kurigakure is business as usual, 3rd Mizukage has fallen, 4th Mizukage is in charge of Yagura, other than that, I will not interfere with Kurigakure's other affairs. Yagura is Kurigakure's 4th Mizukage in the original book. Advertisement. At this time, Yagura was already a mature ninja. Although he had experienced many battles, his strength was good, but he never thought that the opponent would suddenly hit him. He couldn't help being stunned for a moment, pointing at himself and saying, "Oh. That's right, it's you." Corazon nodded. The Kurigakure ninjas looked at each other. Originally thought that BGDB would be annexed by this mysterious strong man from now on, but he didn't expect that he just changed a leader, and the person who replaced him was the Yagura they all affirmed. Yagura actually stands out, and Ben is the backbone of Kurigakure. With 3rd Mizukage around, Yagura can only make a sharp sword, but nothing else. Now Corazon gives him this opportunity to show his strengths and give him support. What's more, with Corazon on board, Uchiha Obito won't be able to control Yagura. Kurigakure will be managed by you from now on, but you have to go back to Kirin village with me to receive systematic training. Before that, the 3 Kurigakure will stay and assist Kurigakure in rebuilding. Leaving Kisame behind is also a knock on the mountain. Don't think that they can make any crooked ideas after they leave. Guiyu and Teodi are not vegetarians if they don't kill each other again. Ghost Shark, Zabuzon, and Ghost Lantern Full Moon said at the same time, yes. Send a letter to Tesoro, asking him to come. Corazon's eyes moved slightly, scanning Kurigakure after the war. I have to say that the fighting power of the people in Heron Village is really amazing. When we first came here, everyone couldn't help but praise the construction of Kurigakure. Now, there are not many good places in the past. Everyone laughed. If it is the same as Sunagakure, there is no need for Tesoro to play. Forget about such a big architectural star, this kind of thing must be left to the experts. After arranging everything, Yugura stood up very nervously, and calmly knelt down on one knee in front of Corazon. My lord. Chapter 110 Orochimaru's Doubts. Advertisement. He heard your weird and powerful guys are called Corazon, so he should call himself that too, right? Corazon nodded. Yugura, I'll give you a day to arrange things for Kurigakure, follow us tomorrow. Daytime. Kurigakure, who has changed dynasties, is strong but has no foundation. Yugura, can you do it? Yugura is very indifferent. He knew this was Corazon's test for him. They were born in Kurigakure, they are mainly bigger, and they must be absolutely loyal to the village. But the Mizukages of the past have never treated them kindly. Yugura couldn't help but clenched his fist. He told himself in his heart that the opportunity His Majesty gave him was like a pie in the sky, and he must seize it. Corazon looked at Yugura's back with a hint of satisfaction in his eyes. Yugura does have the ability to be the fourth generation, if not himself, he can also take on this important role. It's a pity that Uchiha Obito intervened in the original book, and Yugura's life was almost like a puppet. Things are different now, and Corazon would love to see Uchiha Obito scrambled. After arranging everything, Corazon suddenly found that Orochimaru was still maintaining the posture just now. Orochimaru. Corazon tilted his head, looking at Orochimaru who hadn't got up yet, with some doubts. Orochimaru seems to be in a daze easily today. It seems that Orochimaru, who used to be the most upright and only wanted to become stronger, now has something on his mind. Orochimaru blinked and stood up. After Corazon rescued him at the most critical moment, Orochimaru was in this shock. Advertisement. He doesn't know what this kind of emotion is called. But it makes him feel very strange. Looking back from Konoha village to now, except for Corazon, no one has extended a helping hand to him at such a critical moment. In the past, Orochimaru even believed that if he was not capable enough, he deserved to die in the hands of the opponent. This was true for his subordinates, and even he thought so for himself. So after being sealed, Orochimaru did not retaliate as Sarutobi Hiruzen thought. He just feels that he is not capable enough, so he has been looking for ways to become stronger after he came out. He is ruthless to himself, and he is ruthless to others. Over time, this mentality seems to have become the most normal reaction. Asking for flowers. 0. But at a critical moment, a wall of fire appeared in front of him, completely burning down all the worldviews that Orochimaru had built in the past. Orochimaru was lost. Corazon is the master he swears allegiance to, he should be protecting Corazon, but why is it reversed at the last moment? Can't you figure it out? Kanshi Kisami's leisurely and slightly twitching voice rang in his ears. 0. Orochimaru stared at him with serious eyes, as if he wanted to find an answer from him. They are ninjas, and ninjas perform tasks to complete tasks, nothing more, but this time, the people they follow choose to protect them. It's not the so-called slogans like protecting the village, it actually protects them. Because this is your majesty. Guixi clenched his fists, his voice full of admiration and admiration. I said Orochimaru, you won't forget that you are actually a human just because others see you as a monster too much. Corazon sees them as one person, as his partners, his subordinates, and his friends. Rather than a tool, Orochimaru suddenly understood the towel. Chapter 111. Yugura growing wantonly. Advertisement. The arrival of Yugura was warmly welcomed by everyone, and the specific performance is as follows. Kazaru. Oh, I have a new partner. Finally, I'm not a familiar face, and it doesn't look like a facial paralysis. Kisame. Hey, as for the others, they are too lazy to reason. Those who follow Corazon, who are not indifferent by nature but have respect and enthusiasm for the absolute strong, the current Yugura, 050, has not yet reached the level that makes them look one step higher. Corazon disagrees. Yugura was supposed to be the second-generation Jinchuriki of Three Tails, and became the next possessor of the Three Tails after Rin Nohara hit Kakashi's lightning sword and committed suicide. Of course, after being possessed by Three Tails, Yugura was also controlled by Uchiha Obito's Sharingan at the same time, and since then she lost her sanity and became a machine that can only kill. That's why Kurigakure didn't have any diplomacy until 4th Mizukage came to power. A machine that only knows how to kill, and doesn't need to maintain a friendly relationship with anyone. Even if the Kurigakure executives want to keep in touch with the outside world and try not to be left behind by other ninja villages, they are afraid of 4th Mizukage's terrifying tail beast transformation ability, and dare not resist his orders. But now it's different. Rin Nohara is still alive, and under the teaching of Sarutobi Hiruzen, she is gradually learning to control the three tails in her body. Although I haven't found the right method yet, Nohara Lin already has the consciousness to survive. With Kakashi here, even if she exerts her last bit of strength, she will definitely control the three tails in her body. The current Yugura has only just broken through Jonin, but because of his unique and outstanding talent and a task completion rate that is enough to disdain the entire Kurigakure, Shigegakure dare not underestimate him. Advertisement. Yugura became 4th Mizukage without any obstacles. The only one who was unconvinced with high-sightedness and low-handedness disappeared in the ranks of Kurigakure masters the next day, dissipating like a mist. There was visible appreciation on Corazon's face. Yagura is definitely ruthless and smart enough. After the death of 3rd Mizukage, he quickly gave up resistance, and persuaded some of the tribe to keep their lives. Otherwise, even if Corazon can still win Kurigakure will be hurt in the end. Such a powerful and appreciative person is what Corazon admires the most. Kisame and other ninja swordsmen may become the sharpest swords, but they are never suitable to be shadows. The root cause is that they have given up on leading the whole village because they prefer to fight alone. The Yagura of this world has lost the possibility of becoming the second Three Tails Jinchuriki. How far will he grow? Corazon is looking forward to it. Not surprisingly, Corazon saw Yagura respectfully kneeling in front of him before returning on the second day of 5.1. My lord, all arrangements for Kurigakure have been made. His words were resounding, and there was a trace of murderousness, which shows that last night was not peaceful. Corazon nodded. Thank you, let's go. After fighting abroad, I still think their Sea Ninja village is better. Chapter 112. Have you forgotten something? Advertisement. It is still the Shuishi tribe, which is also located on the edge of the country of water. It took only one day for Corazon and his team to return, which surprised the people of the Shuishi tribe. I thought this group of immortals had important things to do. But even if it was only for one day, the people of the Shuishi tribe dared not be careless at all. Specially arranged for 4 or 5 young men in hardcover to guard their big boat, for fear of damage to the boat. Corazon was very satisfied with their careful attitude, and Kakashi had paid for it automatically without his further words. The only 16 old men who could understand what they said insisted on refusing to accept the money. Kakashi had no choice but to give it to him and walk away. Speaking of the past, Kakashi was really not that generous, but after arriving at Wanai Nin village, the money I saved from doing missions was almost too much to spend. Coupled with the fact that there is a guy like Tesoro who can turn stones into gold at any time, Kakashi gradually became numb to things like gold. How can a person feel that money is important if he lives in a building made of gold every day? Tesoro's presence healed the Konoha village ninjas of their money ailments in many ways. Except, of course, Jiraiya. Thinking of Naruto who was cheated out of the money he saved after working hard for a month, Kakashi couldn't help but sympathize with him for a second. But who let him have such an unreliable master? Although the missions in Heron Village are very simple and the rewards are rich, Jiraiya is completely excluded from the scope of accepting missions. All missions are only open to students and school instructors. The purpose is to prevent shameless masters like Jiraiya from doing tasks like crazy, and in the end the students have nothing to do. Before Corazon boarded the ship, Aokiji finally couldn't hold back and asked. Advertisement. My lord, let's go like this. Is there any problem they have not resolved? Is it too early to leave now? Corazon stood still at the bow of the boat without looking back, calmly said, otherwise. The huge ship was docked by the sea, and the waves crashed against the rocks on the edge. Everyone looked over and seemed to want to hear what Aokiji had to say. Aokiji gritted his teeth, the land of water. Everywhere they go, they will definitely take this place, so they haven't been to the capital of the Water King yet, so they just left. No rush. Corazon took it lightly, his robe was blown by the sea wind, and the ship's mast rustled in the wind. Until returning to Chiron village, Aokiji didn't figure out what the meaning of, no hurry, is. It wasn't until he received the so-called messenger that he fully understood what Corazon meant. Among the 5 kingdoms, the country of Hefeng, the country of fire, has completely submitted the letter of surrender, and the country of Bo has become the base of everyone in Heron village earlier. It is impossible for human beings, the leader of the country of water 813, not to have heard the news. Kurigakure is indeed hidden from the world, but the country of water does not have it. Although the water country is relatively low-key among the 5 countries, they should have a lot of intelligence systems. The news of Kurigakure's complete submission to Kai Shinoku village spread like wings. Yagura bowed his head, holding a stick in his hand, practicing taijutsu for several years, as if this matter had nothing to do with him. In fact, if Kurigakure wants to hide the news, at least it is impossible for humans to know anything. Now that the land of water is known, Aokiji would not believe it without the help of 4th Mizukage. Chapter 113. Of course it's just waiting for the rabbit. Advertisement. Until this moment, Aokiji didn't understand why Corazon said Yagura was good. You must know that their superiors are picky, and there are really not many people who can get this evaluation. Aware of current affairs, and the attitude is straightforward and not procrastinating, and the talent is high enough. Such a person became the 4th Mizukage, Kurigakure earned. My lord, the envoy of the country of water has arrived. Aokiji stopped his wandering thoughts, and led the envoy of the water, who had been shocked by the luxury of Chiron village, to Corazon. Corazon was not surprised when he saw the envoy of the kingdom of water with a surprised expression, and it was even more unsurprising that he would see the envoy with the same expression several times in the future. Facing them, Corazon acted gentlemanly enough, but also with faint arrogance and haughty. Respect, Your Majesty. The envoy of the kingdom of water knew at a glance that he had done enough homework on the way here, so he couldn't fault the etiquette at all. He deserves to be a low-key existence who hasn't been troubled by other countries for so long, and has a slippery attitude. Quite fresh. Corazon's thrones are all made of pure gold. Tesoro knows Corazon's preference. The shape of the throne is not ostentatious, but it is enough to show the nobleness. In general, the eyes of the messenger from the kingdom of water are about to be blinded. Nation. His Majesty the King is willing to obey the orders of Heron Village, hoping to get asylum. The envoy of the Kingdom of Water stammered after finishing his visit, and blinked at Corazon, not knowing what the strong man was doing. What do you mean? Part of the reason why the country of water is low-key is completely influenced by Kurigakure. Kurigakure kept a low profile because they secretly planned to capture the tailed beast and blood successor Limit Genius, but the water country didn't know about it. They only know that although the largest ninja village in their own land is ranked among the top ninja villages and is strong enough, they never care about their lives. Advertisement. With the existence of Kurigakure, other countries and ninja villages may not dare to invade the country of water, but similarly, the king of the country of water would not dare to do anything to other countries. Don't even dare to challenge me. For fear of wiping the tiger's whiskers and being slapped to death. Then it's worth the candle. So until now, the rulers of the country of water have behaved honestly with their tails between their legs, forced to act in a low-key manner, and have always been humble and unassuming to the outside world. In other words, we will judge the situation and never cause trouble. Corazon saw through this early on, so he didn't want to spend this effort to fight this fight. Wouldn't it be much more convenient to wait for them to come to their door? From the bottom of his heart, Aokiji admired His Majesty's unique insight, but on the surface he was still tight-fisted, showing a masterful attitude. Corazon was not interested in being polite to him, and after agreeing to the envoy's request, he handed it over to Tesoro as usual. Tesoro's weakness is hard to spot, but deadly, so Corazon likes to assign him the logistics one. Take a look at Kurigakure's house. Tesoro got it back in half a day. Got it. This work efficiency is about 10 times that of Kizaru. Kizaru, who was drinking, suddenly sneezed. Ah, autumn. Jiraiya covered her wine jar in disgust and sat a little further away. Tesoro knew that it was still his job in the end, so he didn't complain. Instead he patiently answered the envoy's question, and finally pointed to Yagura, who was still in contact with physical skills in the training ground below. Here, 4th Mizukage. Chapter 114 New Ideas. Advertisement. The envoy of the Kingdom of Water was dumbfounded. He originally thought that the country of water had never connected with the legendary Kurigakure, and now that Kurigakure finally let go and started to communicate with the outside world, he still wanted to strengthen the relationship with Kurigakure. In the end, who would have thought that 4th Mizukage was such a young boy? Sensing a gaze behind him that cannot be ignored, Yagura slowly turned his head. There was a flash of light in the pink eyes, and the thorny envoy of the Kingdom of Water quickly bowed his head. It seems that ninjas are really different from their ordinary people, even if they look like children, they are not easy to mess with. After solving the matter in the country of water, Corazon skillfully opened the system to receive rewards. Congratulations to host for winning the land of water, and getting 347 S-level forces to land once. There have been 2 chances in total. Do you want to use it? Corazon raised an eyebrow. His current strength no longer requires the help of the system at every turn. After taking down Orochimaru, he even has Orochimaru's weird and unpredictable summoning technique, as well as Uchiha Itachi's Wheel Eye. So this opportunity to summon forces has been useless to him. In addition to the 5 kingdoms and these ninja villages, there are more troublesome opponents in the Hokage world, and Corazon doesn't want to use them so easily. Recalling the experience of being almost overturned by Uchiha Itachi summoned by Uchiha Shisui, BGED, Corazon vowed to be fully prepared. You can no longer do temporary tasks to get a chance. Host sure not to use it. Tisk, this system is still as bad as ever. Advertisement. As if sensing Corazon's raging killing intent, the system instantly became as quiet as a chicken. Only 3 ninja villages have been won now, but the school of their ninja village is gradually taking shape. The only problem may be that the number of students gradually increases, but the number of instructors cannot increase accordingly. Even Kakashi now leads 2 small classes by himself, let alone other people. As the principal, Orochimaru is even harder, and generally all the students are within the scope of his teaching. Corazon frowned. He had to think of a way. How about taking down the 3 holy places in the Hokage world and bringing back some mentors? But now he has no news about the 3 holy places at all, and he didn't even know where the 3 holy places were located before they took the initiative to find him. It seems that I have thought of another way for the time being. Corazon rolled his eyes and got a new idea. Kizaru was drinking, and was a little inexplicable when he was suddenly summoned by Corazon, and he was still thinking about it on the way to the back of his head. I have definitely been working hard recently. Could it be that I was lazy and handed over the work to Kakashi before and was discovered by the Emperor? Now that I have already discovered it, I think it is better not to quibble last time, and if you admit your mistake, you may be able to win leniency. So Kizaru immediately admitted his mistake when he came in. Your Majesty, last time when I took the 3rd class of students to practice taijutsu, I really thought that Kakashi knew them better, so I let Kakashi go. Of course, this is not the reason for me to refuse my job. I know I was wrong. Corazon narrowed his eyes. Aokiji, who has been standing behind Corazon, kept his eyes on his nose, and heart, as if I don't know anything and you don't want to ask me. Chapter 115 Don't tell yourself, you. Advertisement. Kizaru. Something seems wrong. He carefully studied Corazon's expression for a moment. Why does it seem that when he squeezed in, His Majesty's expression was quite normal, but after he admitted his mistake, he became a little inexplicable, and even had a trace of his original expression? Kizaru was shocked. Corazon snorted. Looks like you're not asking yourself. Kizaru, Your Majesty, you listen to me because. After thinking for a while, Kizaru realized that he seemed to be unable to come back, so he could only bow his head in resignation and cry, Your Majesty, I dare not do it again. Corazon didn't expect that he wanted to arrange Kizaru to do something, but he blew himself up as soon as he came up. Bringing him to the world of Hokage, the most important thing is to stop his habit of being lazy, but now, he has learned how to obey and obey. Kizaru also knew that he hit the gun this time, so he continued to bury his head, pretending to be an ostrich. Corazon snorted coldly, You live quite leisurely. No, no, no. I've never been absent from class. It's my turn to have a break today, so I went drinking with Jiraiya, and I didn't cheat Naruto of his money, Jiraiya did it. At most, he just watched the fun and didn't make a sound. What should I do? After speaking, I seem to be even more unreliable. Kizaru was melancholy. Corazon narrowed his eyes, Since I like to be lazy so much, then I will arrange for you to do a little bit. Kizaru suddenly had a bad feeling. There are schools and shops in Heron Village, so it's time to consider developing other industries. So other industries are, advertisement. What? You want to open a casino? Kakashi jumped 3 feet high. Do you want to live or die? You actually did this kind of thing under the nose of your lord. Kizaru wiped his face resolutely, It's okay, I know it in my heart, anyway, His Majesty already knows, don't worry. Specifically, he doesn't want to talk about it. Being squinted and stared at by Corazon for a long time, anyone would feel extremely guilty. Kizaru was tortured for an entire afternoon before Corazon let him go and gave him the task. Kizaru was so grateful that he didn't care how many things he was asked to do, he wished to arrange him a little more, so that he would appear more capable. When you follow too many capable men and strangers, there is always an illusion that you will be eliminated and laid off at any time. Ask for flowers. No matter what, this casino is still open with great vigor. In fact, although Kizaru likes to make jokes, he is really popular in the entire Heinin village. Even if everyone suspects that he is teasing the tiger's beard, seeing Corazon's silent attitude, Yingai still has a lot of praise. 0. Needless to say, Zephyr, god of gamblers in Pirate World. With him killing the whole field, without using any ninjutsu ability, only Orochimaru, who has 5 senses stronger than others in his life and has transformed himself the day after tomorrow, has infinitely approached the snake, can compete with him up. That's right, Kizaru's popularity even includes Orochimaru. Seeing Orochimaru also present, Kakashi's eyes almost popped out. Although I have now accepted that Orochimaru becomes my colleague and is no longer an enemy, but this is still a long way from accepting that Orochimaru drinks, chats and jokes like them. Zephyr's huge body sat on the left, Orochimaru sat on the right, neither of them spoke. As for the others, they are responsible for following the wind pill. Chapter 116 Kizaru is suffering. Advertisement. You have been restricted in this casino, you are not allowed to use any ninjutsu, you can only try your luck like ordinary people, of course they have no other choice. Can't you show 1,000 things in front of the boss Huang Zan? Although there are quite a few people who are eager to try, but everyone still decided to give Huang Yuan a face. After all, in order to open this casino, he has already handed over all his wealth to Tesoro. That's right, although people do not need money to open a shop here at 103, they all hand in a certain amount of remuneration. Kizaru wants to open a casino. Can do it yourself. Or just beg Tesoro. But how could Tesoro help him so easily without the order of Corazon? Asked for 80% of Kizaru's deposit in one go, almost didn't make Kizaru spit out a mouthful of old blood. Kizaru knew that Corazon was deliberately punishing him, so he didn't dare to refute, let alone bargain. I could only pay the bill bitterly, and then watched Tesoro finish a new casino in less than 5 minutes. For a moment Kizaru felt that his huge deposit was worthless. At least I didn't experience the fun of opening a shop at all. What's more, opening this casino is really not what he wants. But no matter what Kizaru explains, everyone doesn't believe it. He didn't do it voluntarily. After all, in the eyes of everyone, drinking one item is Kizaru's specialty. Who else could have come up with such a novel idea except him? Kizaru was bitter, but Kizaru didn't say it. Advertisement. Only Sarutobi Hiruzen, who vaguely guessed something, continued to teach Rin Nohara, who was listening carefully in front of him. The opening of Kizaru's casino is such a big event that there are only a handful of people in the entire Heron village who did not join in, except for the underage students. Among them are Rin Nohara, who is now learning how to control the 3 tails in her body, and Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is worried that Rin Nohara will not be able to do it alone. Students are too hardworking, sometimes it is a problem. These days, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who can only sleep for a short time every day and has no time to drink tea and play chess, sighs in his heart. If Jiraiya worked so hard, I'm afraid he would have been able to succeed the 4th Hokage long ago, right? The news of Kizaru's opening of a gambling shop, in terms of impact, is considered a major event in their Heron village. After all, as long as there is no class at the moment, everyone will go to play. Of course, a large part of the reason is because all the drinks Kizaru bag on the first day of opening. Sarutobi Hiruzen roughly guessed who this casino was really targeting, and couldn't help shaking his head with a smile. As expected, their lord is the most suitable medicine for the disease. A female ninja has a hot body, and she only wears the coolest and simplest ninja uniform. Her slender thighs are exposed to the outside without any hesitation, which makes people's blood pumping. Is this the Sea Ninja Village? The female ninja eagerly looked at the fog. The mist shinobi technique has a 0.2 appearance, tisk. It's a pity that no matter how well she learns, she will break through the bottle today. When the female ninja stepped on the ground, the entire misty forest linton collapsed. If it weren't for the mist shinobi technique that was carefully studied by the black picker Leia, the misty forest might have collapsed already. In Hai Ren village, the black Ho Leia quickly stood up, and his figure disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. How did he run away? Chapter 117 Senju Tsunade debuts. Advertisement. Aokiji is dating Black Ho Raya to eat and drink for free in Kazaru's casino. No, it's just playing some simple tricks. The Black Ho Leia suddenly disappeared. I said you are enough, you have been eating and drinking for free for half a month here, and it doesn't stop. Kazaru almost kneels down to them. Come to the world of Hokage, the poor man is about to sell himself. Others don't understand why he opened the casino, but Aokiji, who was present all the time that day, must understand. Aokiji grinned, the meaning of your lord is to teach you a lesson, I think you will accept it. 11. What's the name of the phrase? By the way, it's better to avoid disaster if you lose money. 16. Kazaru gritted his teeth, it's not your fortune that breaks the relationship. Aokiji patted him on the shoulder reassuringly, calm down. Maybe your situation will be reversed soon. You mean? Kazaru suddenly understood what he meant. Aokiji nodded, the Black Ho Thunderfang will not disappear for no reason, unless he senses something in the misty forest, let's go, maybe we can still watch the scene. The two walked towards the foggy forest with great interest, and turned around the door on the way, passing Kakashi who was going to see Nohara Rin. Aokiji thinks so, with Kakashi here, even if the two fight hard, they can still mediate when the time comes. Kakashi was cut off halfway, and he was dragged out of the foggy forest by them alone. Someone broke in forcibly. Before I arrived, I felt the chakra wave coming from the other side of the misty forest. Such powerful chakra energy. Advertisement. Enemy attack. Kakashi no longer quickly flew away. The female ninja gritted her teeth, who the hell are you guys? When do you get into the habit of hitting each other without saying anything? She was almost done with the mist shinobi technique in this forest, but unexpectedly, a guy with two knives descended from the sky, and he came up with a lightning style without saying a word. The Black Ho Leia kept a cold face, and his attacks became more and more ruthless. In the world of ninjas, the strong are respected, so you will not show mercy just because the other party is a woman. Fortunately, this female ninja is also a powerhouse of the same level, the summoning technique is activated instantly, and the summoning beast is also summoned. It's just Katsuyu. The huge, viscous Katsuyu slowly opened his mouth, his big eyes were fixed on Leia, its teeth were almost invisible, but the sticky mucus in his mouth still reminded everyone. Very poisonous. Before he was sure who the other party was, Raiwa the Black Ho did not resist, and even avoided Katsuyu's attack with the ninja sword. Female ninjas are getting more and more troublesome. What's the matter with you guy? Do you want to fight or not? If you don't fight, get out of the way, I have to go in. She had 780 with one hand on her waist, her slender thighs nodded impatiently, and her yellow hair was windless and automatic, making her look even more gorgeous. Tsunade. Senior Tsunade. Kakashi thought that he would see a powerful enemy when he arrived, and he was even prepared to deal with it. Unexpectedly, he saw an old acquaintance. Senju Tsunade turned his head impatiently, and was taken aback for a moment. Kakashi, it's you. 11. Yeah equals. Kakashi immediately stepped into the battle and stood in front of Tsunade, his attitude was obvious, he was one of his own. The Black Ho Leia silently withdrew his knife. It seems that this is the person that Kazaru and the others have been secretly waiting for recently. Chapter 118 You are too good at accepting apprentices. Advertisement. Senju Tsunade is also Sarutobi Hiruzen's apprentice, and like Jiraiya and Orochimaru, he is also a super strong man. I have to say that Sarutobi Hiruzen is really good at recruiting apprentices, every apprentice can stand alone, and they all have distinct personalities. Orochimaru, I said again, almost became the biggest villain. Even though he has become the principal of Heron Village and even the school, he still has a gloomy face under normal circumstances, making people afraid to go up and talk to him. Not to mention that he once transformed himself in pursuit of the so-called immortality, turning a good person into a mollusk-like existence. I am cruel to myself, and even more cruel to others. As for Jiraiya, a lascivious and lazy man who is so powerful that no one can beat him. Every day when he wakes up, he thinks about how to coax more money from his apprentice so that he can use it for drinking. Not to mention he also has such unique hobbies that he gets beat up a lot in Konoha village. If it wasn't for Jiraiya's extraordinary strength and tough life, I'm afraid he would have been beaten to death long ago. The Senju Tsunade in front of him is the only female among the 3 apprentices of Sarutobi Hiruzen. But she lost me to the other 2. Even stronger in some ways. On the back of Senju Tsunade's ninja suit, there is a very large and clear word, gamble. Yes, she likes to gamble. And 9 out of 10 bets. The other time was when someone showed kindness and lost to her. But Senju Tsunade seemed to be unaware of his level, so he went to all the casinos he could pass. Advertisement. As long as you lose too much, you can't help but fight. The bettors are either just genin who have been in the human world, or simply ordinary people. Who can beat her? As a result, Senju Tsunade became the first person to be banned in the Five Kingdoms casino. She is absolutely not allowed in. Otherwise, we will close the door immediately to thank customers. Up to this moment, Senju Tsunade has not had a hand addiction for more than half a month. It really makes those who hear it sad, and those who see it shed tears. Kakashi numbly kicked away Katsuyu, who she could empathize with because she was too sad. Probably because of being used to rough treatment by Senju Tsunade, Katsuyu didn't get angry, just gave Kakashi a sullen look, and then disappeared. So, Senior Tsunade came to see Ninja Village this time not because he received news about the purpose of the third generation, but because he heard that a new gambling house opened here. Valley. Kakashi held his forehead and felt a very headache. Senju Tsunade suddenly opened her eyes wide, and if you look carefully, you can still see the clarity in her eyes. Quote. That's right. Some time ago, I planned to return to the Kingdom of Fire, but I heard the news suddenly, so I decided to change my way halfway. After speaking, he caught Kakashi and asked, why does third generation contact me? Senju Tsunade doesn't often stay, Wang Qian's, in Konoha village, so many times it caused her to be one step slower when she got the news of the village. Kakashi black line, let's talk as we go. Saying that, he gave the black Holeya a sorry look, and led Senju Tsunade to Heron village. Because Kizaru and the others were thinking about watching a show, they took a step back. Unexpectedly, it was too late. When he and Aokiji appeared behind him, the Black Holeya had already finished fighting Senju Tsunade. Chapter 119 Killing Two Birds with One Stone. Advertisement. Kizaru rubbed his chin, this is female ninjas. He has never seen a few female ninjas so far, including Hyuga Hinata and Chunyuan Yingying, two little girls who haven't grown up yet. Not to mention a hot body like Senju Tsunade. Kizaru couldn't help but wanted to tease her. Senju Tsunade raised his eyebrows and glanced at him. Kizaru's combat literacy developed over the years made him subconsciously take a step back. Zzz. On the ground, the unknown slime seemed to appear out of thin air. Everything that touched the slime seemed to wither in an instant, and even those next to it did not escape the bad luck. Those who died directly could not die again. Hiss. Kizaru took a breath. Kakashi glared at him. Kizaru is really desperate, even Senju Tsunade dares to tease him. This is Senior Tsunade, who came here for sightseeing. He can't say that Senju Tsunade is here for Kizaru's casino. Now Kakashi finally figured out why Kizaru always looks like he is suffering, and Corazon turns a blind eye to this matter from beginning to end. Shut your eyes. It seems that Kizaru's opening of a gambling shop is fake, and it is real to attract Senju Tsunade to his door. Kakashi, as the teacher of the ninja school, really noticed the troubles after their students gradually increased. Among other things, there are no medical ninjas among them, only Kisame can barely teach them basic medical ninjutsu. Corazon called Tsunade. It must not be that simple, it should be because he wants to get an annual fee tutor. That's right, Corazon thinks so. Isn't there a shortage of teachers in the village? Why not use so many capable people in Konoha village? Advertisement. Sarutobi Hiruzen can't command these 3 apprentices, Corazon will not be polite. Orochimaru is now completely submissive and obeys his orders, while Jiraiya is here, but he still has nothing to do every day, and he doesn't see him doing anything serious except causing trouble for his apprentice. However, Corazon still pretended not to know. For BGCF, this moment. The gambling house has attracted Tsunade. As long as it is used properly, Tsunade will definitely stay and be the mentor honestly. Tsunade is left behind. Can Jiraiya continue to idle around? Impossible this time. Kakashi, who is well versed in the hobbies and relationships of these seniors, can't help feeling that this strategy of killing 2 birds with 1 stone is very good. Simply killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Wrong! Exclamation mark. Tsunade is Little Sakura's master. Although Little Sakura can't meet this unreliable teacher a few times a year. But Tsunade can teach him much more than others. I understood Kakashi's meaning between the lines almost instantly, and my eyes lit up immediately. What kind of beauty is this? This is simply a savior. Senju Tsunade finally came. The fish took the bait. His bait that was ruthlessly thrown in the water can finally be picked up. Kizaru immediately took a step forward, even ignoring the weird slime just now, so it's Senior Tsunade. I've heard it for a long time. Kizaru, run a casino. I wonder if Senior is interested in going to see it. Kakashi just wanted to say, would it be bad to be so direct? Senju Tsunade is just a gambler and not stupid. Then I heard Senju Tsunade's equally elated voice, yeah. It even sounded a little eager. Chapter 120. If you dig a hole, you are just waiting for someone to jump. Advertisement. Kakashi. He was wrong, he shouldn't have any illusions about this Tsunade senior. Kakashi's stalwart body couldn't help but collapsed a bit, and his shoulders also collapsed, and he walked in behind Kizaru and the others. After Senju Tsunade found you and found out Kizaru's identity, he threw it away, Kakashi. Kizaru is what she came here for. Of course Kizaru is very knowledgeable, and while leading her to the casino, he told her all about the recent events. The old man finally lost once. Lost to the first generation of Chiron village. Is it the lord you mentioned? Sounds like an absolute strongman. What? Konoha village also chose to surrender. Oh, that's right, I can't beat it. Kakashi said in his heart that you accepted it too quickly. Then I saw Kizaru continue to explain with a smile, Your Majesty understands Third Hokage's choice very well, and he is willing to help train Konoha village ninjas unconditionally. Senju Tsunade has come all the way, and it would be a lie to say no surprises. I heard that this sea ninja village popped up out of nowhere. Tsunade didn't have any expectations at first, but now it seems that it is much stronger than any ninja village she has ever seen. She swears allegiance to Konoha village, but she also respects the choice of Konoha village Hokage. Senju Tsunade will verify whether he is worthy of her following or not. Now the ninja school is also established, but there is a lack of teachers. Kizaru sighed and continued to dig a hole. Senju Tsunade didn't understand, but nodded in understanding. The 3 students from ninja village together are indeed quite a lot. No wonder they lack teachers. Aokiji's eyes narrowed with a smile, and he nodded his head when he heard the words, and sang with Kizaru, making Senju Tsunade stunned for a while. Tsunade. Tsunade. Suddenly, a shocking and obscene voice sounded. Jiraiya wiped his eyes to make sure he wasn't drunk. Senju Tsunade was really standing in front of him. Advertisement. Jiraiya threw the bottle in his hand and rushed over. Naruto rushed to pick it up. This cost him a lot of money. His master is eating and drinking for free in other people's shops, what can he do other than pay for the ransom? Tsunade. Jiraiya rushed towards Senju Tsunade with glowing eyes when he saw Senju Tsunade. Tsunade stretched out his fist straight without moving his eyebrows. Asking for flowers. Boom. Kakashi and Naruto looked away at the same time. Jiraiya got a huge black circle in her left eye and finally stopped. This is Jiraiya, although he didn't intend to fight back at all, but his body strength is so powerful, and there are not many people who left such a deep mark on him in one blow. Aokiji is even more satisfied. Such a strong female ninja, and I heard that medical ninjutsu is still first class, isn't it just to replace them? Tsunade was a little surprised to meet Jiraiya here, but he didn't show mercy at all. Anyway, Jiraiya gets beaten a lot for peeking at her in the shower. Naruto obediently came over to call for someone. Senior Tsunade. It's Naruto. Tsunade squinted and nodded. Yes, great progress. It seems that the Sea Ninja Village is really teaching this group of students wholeheartedly, even this guy Jiraiya stayed behind. Although Jiraiya usually looks unreliable, but Tsunade knows that if there is a problem with Kanon Village, he will definitely object to Konoha Village dating her more than anyone else. Chapter 121. The most important thing is advertisement. When did you come? After Jiraiya saw Tsunade, she became strangely reserved. There is a long black thread hanging above Naruto's head, obviously knowing the little secrets of his master. Master, Instructor Guixi called you. I see. Tsunade, you must have heard that there is a new casino here, so you came here, right? Ming, 877, people. It seems that it doesn't matter what Jiraiya is doing. At this moment, Jiraiya just wants to cling to Senju Tsunade. Senju Tsunade frowned slightly, and kicked Jiraiya away. Why are you here? Jiraiya was at a loss for words. It's hard for him to say that he eats and drinks for free here, right? Aokiji smiled and showed 8 teeth. Jiraiya is of course teaching at the ninja school. Yes, yes, yes. Jiraiya glanced at Aokiji gratefully, and Aokiji returned a thank you look. Little did he know that he had stepped into the routine step by step. Tsunade glanced at Jiraiya in surprise. Jiraiya actually went there and took the initiative to teach at the school. Could it be that I have been away from the village for too long and can really change so many things? But all that is beside the point. Tsunade raised his hand boldly. Let's go. Take me to your new casino. Kizaru almost lost his footing when she slapped him on the shoulder. Unexpectedly, Tsunade looks hot and is actually a cannibal flower. Kizaru completely dismissed the idea. It is better to deceive people first. Advertisement. Don't need him to say more. Zephyr is already waiting in the casino. Guaranteed to win to make Tsunade doubt his life. Kakashi secretly pulled Kizaru after seeing Zephyr sitting in the innermost place. You don't have to play so big, do you? Will Tsunade fight with them if they are in a hurry? Kizaru winked. Don't worry. It doesn't matter if she makes a move. I invited a god tier to hold the line. God tier. Kakashi followed Kizaru's gaze. Orochimaru was sitting in the corner drinking. Under the dim light, Orochimaru's face flickered, and he deliberately concealed his aura, so that Kakashi didn't see him when he came in. Orochimaru, Tsunade, and Jiraiya, who clings to Tsunade, the 3 apprentices of Sarutobi Hiruzen actually met on this occasion. But apparently, Tsunade hasn't had time to see Kakashi yet. Zephyr, known as Black Arm, basically belongs to the most low-key group in Heron Village, neither as talkative as Kizaru Aokiji, nor as aggressive as Kisame and others. But as long as Corazon is useful, go to his place and Zephyr will not refuse. Zephyr was not curious at all when he received the order to come to the casino, and dedicated himself to his duty like the most loyal guard to reassure Corazon. The matter is left to Kizaru alone, and Corazon may also consider whether he will make mistakes due to carelessness, but with a Zephyr, it is absolutely foolproof. 4.3 Senju Tsunade is not afraid of him. Isn't it just bigger? The bigger ones she's ever seen are much bigger. Half an hour later. Jiraiya secretly pulled Kakashi, gritted his teeth. I said, do you have to be so ruthless? Senju Tsunade hasn't won a game until now, and the amount they bet is not small. Chapter 122 Life is all about winning and losing. Advertisement. To say that Jiraiya didn't notice their fanfare at all, why? It's impossible, but he didn't care before because he didn't think it had anything to do with him. But now Tsunade is here. Jiraiya immediately connected all the causes and effects, knowing that they made a big move recently, just to get Tsunade to stay. Sarutobi Hiruzen can certainly order Tsunade to teach in the school of Hiruzen village, but Tsunade is already a strong person beyond the ordinary Jonin level, and with her free and easy nature, Sarutobi Hiruzen the 16th may not want to force her. But Corazon is different. Jiraiya's heart turned in such a big circle that feelings are waiting here. But they really didn't show mercy at all. Zephyr has been the banker since they entered the door. Tsunade wants to win once in Zephyr's hands. It's fine if it's a different person, Jiraiya is now friends with everyone, so they can give them some face. But now the man in charge is a no-nonsense Zephyr. With Corazon's order ahead, Zephyr doesn't care who is on the other side. A large drop of sweat dripped from Tsunade's forehead. She usually just likes to play a lot, even if she loses a lot, she is not so miserable after being oppressed by others. This time Tsunade can feel that he has no chance of winning at all. Hateful. Losing again and again, Tsunade couldn't suppress his temper. Although every time after losing his temper and smashing someone's gambling house, he would feel a little bit regretful. But when you get angry, please manage so much. Zephyr's eyes were calm, and his subordinates were even more unsteady. Come again. Tsunade still loses, and loses badly. Advertisement. Boom. ****. Senju Tsunade slapped the table, why do you always win? It's so possible. Kizaru, who watched the whole process, had a black line on his forehead. Of course, he thought it was because of your poor skills, but it is always hard to tell the truth. Zephyr was much more straightforward. Seeing that Senju Tsunade didn't seem to want to continue playing, Zephyr pushed away the chips in front of him and stretched out his hand, give me money. Later, they had already started to keep accounts, because Tsunade didn't have time to pay. Senju Tsunade MI has already thought about how much money she needs to pay after playing for half a day. I couldn't help but think for a moment, how much she can take out now. The next moment, flip the table very simply. I think you guys are definitely cheating. Zephyr backed away a second before she could strike, and the shattered table didn't hurt him at all. You will lose as many games as you want. Zephyr originally wanted to say that Senju Tsunade was playing 660's game unexpectedly. Senju Tsunade suddenly understood that they really used improper means. Even dare to lie to me. It made her lose here for so long. Jiraiya knew that Tsunade was on the verge of eruption, so he rushed to fight the fire. No, Tsunade, listen to me. Go away. Tsunade glared at him. This guy has been watching them lie to himself. Jiraiya thought I was wronged. But before he had time to explain, a huge Katsuyu suddenly appeared in the not-so-spacious casino. The Katsuyu they saw this time was much bigger than the one in the misty forest. Chapter 123, The Beast Orochimaru. Advertisement. Senju Tsunade is such a hot beauty, it's hard to imagine that her summoning beast is Katsuyu, which most girls would find disgusting. But it's obvious. The fighting power of this Katsuyu is definitely not low. Katsuyu opened his mouth slightly, and spit out a stream of venomous mucus. Kakashi hurriedly supported the non-falling furniture around him. This is the work of Tezzolo. If they break it, it is impossible to find too many Luolai repairs. Senju Tsunade must be the one to blame for this in the end. Tsunade's sudden action was completely expected by Kizaru and others. They just want to make Senju Tsunade blow up. It's a pity that Kizaru missed one point, that is the degree of cooperation of Orochimaru. Until he was beaten by Tsunade, Orochimaru even found a corner to lie around, as if he had no intention of seeing his old friend at all. If you don't make a move, I'm going to fight back. Kizaru closed his eyes, suddenly made a sharp turn with his feet, and ran towards Orochimaru with the huge Katsuyu behind him. Tsunade found that this group of people were mainly dodging, and was about to blow up the gambling house in one go, when he suddenly heard a loud noise behind him. A big snake with white body and only green teeth bit her Katsuyu in one bite. Summoning Beast. The fight between the two summoning beasts simply gave up the competition of ninjutsu and directly chose the melee combat. Senju Tsunade was stunned, and even forgot to chase after several translations that had disappeared. Big. Orochimaru. Did she read it right? Advertisement. Orochimaru actually appeared here. Jiraiya, what do you eat? You don't even know Orochimaru is around. After confirming that the person in the corner is really Orochimaru, Nasho couldn't help cursing Jiraiya. Dangerous people will always be around them. She didn't notice it when she went to the gambling table, and Jiraiya didn't even notice it. Jiraiya felt a little speechless for the first time, touched the hair on the top of his head that was almost corroded by mucus, and said with lingering fear, I know. Then you still. Senior Tsunade, Orochimaru is now the principal of the ninja school in Arhanen village. I was too hasty just now, so I haven't had time to tell you. Kakashi finished speaking in one breath, for fear that the hot-tempered Tsunade would not listen to him again. 4. What? Drag. Until Orochimaru realized that she had no intention of doing anything again, dragged out a chair and table from the ruins and sat down safely, Tsunade still didn't react. Orochimaru will honestly be an instructor at the ninja school. What a joke. Tsunade. I want to tell myself that all this is fake, but Orochimaru who calmly drinks in front of her and is not afraid of her sneak attack is real. See, come, also. Tsunade suddenly grabbed Jiraiya's ear, judging by the strength, it is definitely not small. What the hell is going on? Jiraiya grimaced in pain, but he didn't even think about fighting back after being beaten too much by Tsunade. It's not that I'm too happy to see you, so I haven't had time to tell you. Jiraiya thought to himself, even he thought this matter was unreal, and he still hasn't fully accepted it yet. How can I think of mentioning it at the first time when we meet? Chapter 124 Relieved Chi. Advertisement. Tell me everything that happened after I left the village, one by one. Jiraiya could only explain with a bitter face. He didn't expect that he would already be beaten up several times after meeting Tsunade. It's too awful. Naruto looked at his master who was in pain but also happy, and heaved a long sigh. The thing about Jiraiya and Tsunade, but your fans can see it. Oops, maybe the two of them don't actually feel nothing at all. But Naruto has no control over the adults' affairs, so he can only let Kisame wait. In classrooms, I was waiting for Naruto to call Jiraiya to show the students the sealing technique, but no one was there until the end of get out of class. 457. Who made the sealing technique? Jiraiya the first one. Kisame is indeed Grandmaster Water style, but he doesn't know anything about sealing. Kisame dragged a ninja casually to ask Jiraiya's current position with a full head of anger, and killed them with great momentum. In classrooms, Hyuga Hinata is a little worried. Senior Jiraiya must have gone drinking somewhere again. Gisame teacher won't fight with him, right? Hyuga Neji sneered, it's good to fight. Senior Jiraiya is usually lazy, and everyone has never seen him move his hands. It is said that the only times that Senior Jiraiya BGBB has moved his hands are during the life and death of the village. Therefore, Jiraiya's strength has been discussed by everyone, and it is not clear what kind of powerhouse he has reached. Kisame thought that when he rushed to the kitchen, he would see a Jiraiya having fun in the closed room or Jiraiya who was drunk, but he never expected to be yelled at by a woman he didn't know. This scene is so cool. Advertisement. Kisame, if you're here, you'll be relieved, I almost forgot what I'm here for. What are they doing? Kizaru likes 8 trigrams the most, and immediately talked about all the things that happened here before, with a big mouth. Kisame immediately showed a look of watching the show. This is Jiraiya. Jiraiya, who usually finds excuses to eat and drink and refuses to go to class, is finally cured now. Don't say anything else. Senju Tsunade first arrived at Umi Ninja Village, and he was absolutely warmly welcomed by everyone. Who doesn't like such a beautiful ninja with a hot personality and a hot body? And he can also make the Jiraiya rule that everyone hates so much. Zephyr, who had already slipped away, suddenly came back without anyone noticing, and Aokiji put her on her shoulder. I thought you wouldn't come back to clean up the mess after you slipped away. Zephyr's face was paralyzed, and Aokiji, who was forced by an elbow, had to let go, and at the same time said dumbly, Your Majesty, please. They are all familiar faces in the circle, and it is self-evident who Corazon invited. Corazon did receive the news when Senju Tsunade first entered the Sea Ninja village, and naturally knew that Kizaru and the others were carrying out the plan. Already hooked, the rest is to collect the net. Sarutobi Hiruzen sat silently on the right hand of Corazon and drank tea, as if he didn't care much about how much his disciple lost this time. Corazon looked at Tsunade who looked surprised but still polite in the hall, and raised his hand to signal her to sit down. Long wait, Tsunade. Senju Tsunade was really surprised by such a pure gold building. From the moment she came in, she wondered how much she could play with it in exchange for money. She didn't come back to her senses until she heard Corazon's voice. Chapter 125 Either be a mentor or. Advertisement. So strong. This is Tsunade's first reaction after seeing Corazon's eyes on the team. The aura of Corazon's gestures made her completely unable to resist, and Tsunade couldn't help thinking until she sat down. If she resisted just now, would it be possible to succeed? The answer is negative. Sarutobi Hiruzen coughed lightly, Min. Tsunade looked much more obedient in front of his master, so he changed his words immediately. My lord. Changing her mouth represents her choice. Along the way, Senju, Tsunade can see clearly. Everything in this newly emerging Sea Ninja village is so unfamiliar, but it also has hope, even more exciting than Konoha village. All the buildings along the way are in the same style, and it is not difficult to imagine that this was ordered by the generation here, plus Jiraiya told her. Orochimaru has surrendered, and the students of Konoha village have received the best care here. This can be seen from Naruto. Gradually faded from the original youthfulness, and strived to become a qualified chunin. If he stayed in Konoha village and was discriminated against as Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, would Naruto still improve so fast? Senju Tsunade doesn't know, but she knew that there was no need for resistance in this matter. They are loyal to the village, but not stupid. Konoha village will always get better and better, as long as the result is good, she can accept such a change. Facing this legendary 5th Hokage, Corazon took it lightly. Senju Tsunade is indeed very strong, or even a disciple of Sarutobi Hiruzen is not strong. But in front of today's Corazon, it is not invincible, and they are not even worried about Senju Tsunade's lack of cooperation. Corazon has absolute confidence in himself, and his sky tower has never had any guards. Except for the people in Heron village who spontaneously take turns to guard, the entire top of the sky tower is basically Corazon's world. After going through such a circle, Tsunade finally realized that he had stepped into someone else's trap. Advertisement. Her expression was not good, although she was not angry, she was still dissatisfied. Your Majesty has spent a lot of trouble, and you will not only put me out for tea every day, will you? Corazon rubbed his temples, of course. This matter, if Sarutobi Hiruzen asks, there is a higher probability that Tsunade will agree, but Corazon never likes to force people. Asking for flowers. 0. He clearly gave 2 choices. Stay here, the ninja school also needs another vice principal who specializes in teaching medical ninjutsu. Tsunade hesitated for a moment. Attend class. She likes it so much. Or, Tsunade couldn't help holding his breath, as if he wanted to hear what Corazon had to say. Then Corazon raised his hand, took a piece of paper from Zephyr, and put it on the table. Well, more than 3 million taels, is it a one-time payment? 0. Tsunade. Oops, I forgot about losing almost bankrupt in the casino. If it was someone else, Tsunade could still renege on the debt, but this person in front of him is Corazon. Forget it, I can't beat it. Tsunade makes a quick decision. Does the class start tomorrow? Those who know current affairs are heroes. And she really can't afford more than 3 million taels. Sarutobi Hiruzen has been drinking tea leisurely, and couldn't help but stiffen when he heard the number. In Konoha village, it's less than 1 million to do an S-level mission. Tsunade actually lost more than 3 million yuan in half an hour. Power. Chapter 126 This is not a dream. Advertisement. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt that it might not be right for him to let this apprentice do what he likes. A Jiraiya coaxes Naruto to spend money every day, but why is Tsunade less reliable than Jiraiya? Being arranged clearly in front of his master, Tsunade blushed. After she calmed down, she found that Zephyr is indeed a master. Such a person does not need to use other methods to win herself. It should be that her 433 is really too bad. Corazon raised his eyebrows. Wouldn't that solve it? The so-called penny beats a hero. Tsunade's choice is completely in his expectation, but well, there is no end to it. You are not in a hurry to settle the 3 million taels with you, and you can even write it off, as long as you promise me one thing. Tsunade's eyes widened. Jiraiya felt depressed. He hasn't seen Tsunade for a long time. Who knew Tsunade would be so disrespectful this time? He beat himself like this before peeping at her in the shower. Jiraiya sits drinking in a tavern with one eye bruised. Kisame also sat not far from him, seemed to notice Jiraiya's gaze. Kisame sneered, as if laughing at the fist marks on his face. Ext. Never mind. While drinking alone, Jiraiya suddenly noticed that there was another person on the opposite seat. Long brown hair, hot look, close-fitting ninja uniform and a big gamble on the cloak. Tsunade. Jiraiya is instantly refreshed. Not many times does Tsunade take the initiative to find him. Advertisement. A glass of sake. Tsunade quickly understood the rules of the store, ordered a glass of wine before looking at Jiraiya. It was wrong for me to hit you as soon as we met today. Tsunade actually apologized to him. Jiraiya suddenly doesn't feel depressed at all. That's all right. Isn't it just multiple marks on his face? He can bear it. 2 more are fine. Jiraiya rubbed her hands and asked tentatively, how long do you plan to stay this time? Have you thought about where to go after that? Tsunade is uninhibited in the world, and usually stays in Konoha village for a limited time, and basically completes tasks outside. Of course, she also wants to play outside. And Jiraiya chose to stay in the village to watch Naruto's contact progress because of Naruto's special status. Now Naruto's enthusiasm for learning is high. Although it seems to have nothing to do with Jiraiya, he is still very satisfied and does not intend to be humble. I'm not going to leave this time. Tsunade casually brushed her hair behind her ears, and she looked more charming under the light. No. Don't leave. Jiraiya felt that there were too many surprises today. He almost wondered if you drank too much and started dreaming. Tsunade hooked his lips in a good-tempered manner, thought of Corazon's words, and followed the temptation. I plan to stay and be a tutor at the ninja school, and teach little Sakura seriously. How about Jiraiya? Do you want to join me in 2.8? Of course. Jiraiya nodded quickly. Doesn't Tsunade's willingness to stay mean that he can see her every day? And they also want to be mentors together. Isn't that the same as coming in and going out together? Jiraiya couldn't help laughing silly, until she was woken up by Naruto and found that Tsunade in front of her was gone. Could this really be a dream? Jiraiya quickly grabbed Naruto. Where's Tsunade? Chapter 127 Soon there will be no shortage. Advertisement. Naruto == Senior Tsunade said that His Majesty arranged a place for her, and she planned to go and have a look, so she left first. His master has maintained this strange and somewhat disgusting smile in the second half. No wonder Senior Tsunade's feet are oiled. Naruto, who paid the bill, felt bitter. After being informed suddenly that the account had been settled by Tsunade, Naruto suddenly discovered that Senior Tsunade still has such advantages in staying. Master, be sure to keep Senior Tsunade. Jiraiya drank the whole glass of wine in one sip, and said ambitiously, nonsense. You need to say it. The other end. Tsunade got rid of the smell of alcohol and returned to his residence in a good mood. Tesoro's specially customized dormitories for faculty and staff, each of which is a single building with 16 buildings, is absolutely luxurious enough. More importantly, after Jiraiya agreed, her more than 3 million taels were written off. Not only was it written off, but as a B-level task, Tsunade directly won a reward of almost 800,000. Tsunade once again realized the strength of this lord, our financial resources. Jiraiya is happy, Tsunade is happy, and Corazon is also happy. With this little price in exchange for 2 excellent instructors, do you think I have made a profit or lost it? Corazon said casually while completing the formation of his subordinates. Kakashi lowered his head. He really didn't want to admit that the 2 seniors in Konoha village were being calculated so thoroughly, but this is the truth. Corazon is perfecting the formation, and after Jiraiya chooses to surrender, Corazon has obtained Jiraiya's sealing ability. The so-called seal can naturally create formations. Advertisement. There are still a few unique rooms under the Sky Tower, and Corazon is trying to find a way to arrange the chakra formations in the rooms, so that practicing in the room will be more effective. This kind of idea is too shocking. The key needs an extremely large amount of chakra to complete, and other people must have to give up this idea, but Corazon can do it. It just takes a certain amount of time. Spend some time in exchange for a few rooms that allow people to practice and get twice the result with half the effort. Corazon thinks this deal is a good deal. My lord, it seems that the chakra needed in the formation is not enough. Kakashi knew what their lord was doing, and while he was surprised by this idea, he couldn't help but imagine the scene after it was completed. Be sure to grab the first batch of places to enter the experience. It's still missing, but it won't be short soon. Will there be any shortage soon? What's the meaning? Corazon withdrew his hand, and the faint chakra in the room continued to flow, and the formation outside the room had been completed, and a large amount of chakra would neither dissipate nor be lost. Corazon's voice was very ethereal in the long corridor. Let Orochimaru come and meet me. Orochimaru stood behind Corazon with his hands down, looking at Corazon who was looking at the scenery from the glass window. My lord, let's go to Longyan village. Corazon's voice was still pleasant, and Orochimaru immediately responded. Corazon wants Takikage village for no reason, it should be Takikage's hero water. The so-called water of heroes is a secret treasure handed down from the ancestors of Longyan village that can increase the chakra of ninjas dozens of times. Legend has it that it is hidden deep in Longyan village. Chapter 128. Taki Hidden Village. Advertisement. From ancient times to the present, countless people have tried to steal or snatch the water of heroes from Longyan village, but unfortunately no one has ever succeeded. Takigakure, like Kurigakure, has almost no contact with the outside world, but the latter is because they have their own conspiracy, so they need to keep a low profile on the surface. And the former is because of nature. People in Takiyan village are used to living like ordinary people, and they don't like to fight. For them, learning ninjutsu is just to protect themselves and the village, and they never provoke disputes. The location of Longyan village is very secretive. So hidden that even Corazon can't find it. But who let him have Orochimaru? Although Orochimaru didn't attack Longyan village, Kakuzu, who is still sealed under their Kairan village, came from Longyan village. Orochimaru, who was once a member of the Akatsuki organization with Kakuzu, secretly has the act of searching for the method of longevity. Did he ask Kakuzu about the location of Takihiden village? Corazon smiled lightly. The reason he went to such lengths to take Orochimaru is because he's so useful. Uchiha Itachi also stayed in the Akatsuki organization, but he was taciturn and didn't even have much communication with Kakuzu Hidan, and Kakuzu Fei Duanyi was not afraid of him at all. But Orochimaru is different. Even Pain is afraid of his three-pointer. Orochimaru quickly sets off, this time with Naruto and Sasuke, and Haruno Sakura who has recently become more proficient in medical ninjutsu under Tsunade's tutelage. Advertisement. Although Haruno Sakura worshipped Senju Tsunade as his teacher early, but because of Senju Tsunade's unreliable nature, little Sakura's medical ninjutsu is more of his own. Now that Tsunade is forced to stay, he naturally found out that he really didn't care much about this student before, and now he is training little Sakura with full firepower. The result is that now little Sakura is thinking about everything Tsunade taught during the day when she is dreaming. These days are too rare for little Sakura. She has to keep her spirits up to 120,000 points every day, otherwise it is easy to miss 1 point. Even though Tsunade won't blame her, little Sakura will feel that she is too stupid. This outrageous seriousness even made Sasuke feel the crisis, and also began to work overtime for training. As a group member of Class 1, San Shaoji was packed and brought out to do the S-level task this time, and he was completely fooled. Mr. Orochimaru, we are going to the legendary Takihiden village. Naruto took the luggage, followed Orochimaru who was walking in the front, and asked while looking at the map. Orochimaru hummed, he didn't seem to be bothered by him, and he should have gotten used to it. Sasuke is in awe of Orochimaru, the principal who suddenly appeared, and also admires the strong, so he is not as bold as Naruto. Naruto was more casual, who made him accidentally see Tsunade questioning Orochimaru. And it was still Tsunade showing his teeth and claws. In the end Orochimaru didn't even give her a look, Zhao Li Zhao, and left by himself. Tsunade was so angry that he almost pulled the hair on the top of Jiraiya's head. As the one who was also almost affected, Naruto has more complex senses towards Orochimaru. In short, he is not very afraid. Single quote dot. But the map doesn't show where Mingtaki Yin village is. Naruto helped the straw hat on his head. They were walking by a small stream with their trousers rolled up, the broken sunlight sprinkled on the water, making the three little cats it looks much more lively. Chapter 129 What does this smell? Advertisement. I can't see it on the map. Orochimaru's habit of answering questions is always so concise, which makes people confused. But Naruto understood in a daze. So Master Orochimaru knows where Takigakure is. Have you been to Kurigakure? I know. No. The traces of Longyan village are rare in the world, and basically no one has been there except their own people. Orochimaru has no interest in this kind of village where he only thinks about how to live well. Even if he knew the location of Takihide village from Kakuzu, he never went there. The attraction of heroes' water to others might be great enough 633, but Orochimaru scoffed. Obtaining chakra through this kind of thing is like making a deal with the devil. Even the people in Longyan village are unwilling to use it easily, let alone Orochimaru who is extremely desperate. If we go any further, it seems that we are going to the land of fire. Little Sakura pointed to the map and looked along the road, and found that they had traveled so far in the half-month since they came out. Starting from Heron Village in the Land of Waves, they crossed the entire Land of Waves and passed through a part of the Land of Winds. They are about to reach the border of the Land of Fire at this moment. Soon. Orochimaru said so. Really? Naruto was instantly excited, and he will be in Longyan Village soon. With these students, it was the first time for Orochimaru to travel in such a simple way, and even gave up traveling day and night at the same time, and would stop to rest every night, while his white snake loyally guarded them. After half a month, even Sasuke began to notice the concern of this seemingly unapproachable mentor for them. If it was the past, Itachi would have reminded Sasuke to be careful about Orochimaru, but this time, Itachi kept silent. Heron Village is a magical place, in every way, it has changed every one of them. Advertisement. Wow, such a big waterfall. They followed the stream all the way until they found this huge waterfall. It was the first time Naruto BGFE saw such a big waterfall, so he couldn't help trotting forward to look at it. Sasuke had never seen such a big waterfall, and stood beside the stream with him. Little Sakura was more careful, and she found that Orochimaru had stopped, facing the direction of the waterfall. Taki Hidden Village is here. The waterfall is so big that Naruto thinks he will be washed down if he goes there, so how do they get in? Orochimaru raised his hand slightly. The three of them only felt a blur in front of their eyes, and the next moment the light suddenly disappeared, replaced by darkness and a stench. What kind of smell is this? Sasuke finally couldn't help but speak. The taste is too indescribable. It's almost like Jiraiya's socks that have been saved for half a month are all piled up. Where they can't see, Orochimaru stands on top of the white snake and sprints. The white snake swam extremely fast in the water, and soon smashed through the waterfall with its powerful body. The three of Naruto only felt a sudden shock, so scared that they almost lost their footing. Orochimaru lowered his eyes, reminding the slightly excited white snake that finally came out, pay attention to them. White snake nodded immediately. The three people in the mouth of the white snake. Now they know where they are. By the way, the taste in white snake's mouth is really deadly, okay. Chapter 130 Real Mission. Advertisement. It wasn't until the waterfall and the barrier behind the waterfall were completely smashed open that the white snake opened its bloody mouth again and spit out the three people who were almost fainted. It often eats people, and even powerful ninjas can eat them. This is the first time it has spit out alive. Therefore, after the white snake spit them out, it still did not leave, but looked at them with its huge snake eyes. Naruto's eyes have turned into mosquito-repellent eyes, and he walks staggeringly. Don't look at me, vomit. Sasuke and little Sakura are no good either, where to go? Never expected that the first thing the three of them did when they came to Longyan Village was to find a place to vomit. The white snake didn't seem to understand why, and wanted to get closer, so it got Orochimaru's order and immediately disappeared in front of several people. Orochimaru frowned slightly. Sasuke, who finally regained his composure and returned to the human world, wiped his mouth and looked at this small world. Something seems wrong. Although they have never been to Longyan Village, they also know that it is absolutely impossible for a normal village to be like this. Lifeless. Many plants on the road have withered, as if something huge and poisonous passed by, and there was an atmosphere called tension in the air. Mentor. Naruto immediately wiped his mouth and got up. They took this S-rank mission, but they didn't intend to get behind Orochimaru. The task is to be done carefully. Go. Orochimaru nodded, agreeing to their request. The three of them immediately set off together. And Orochimaru, squinting his eyes after they left, jumped away as if he finally got his bearings. Strictly speaking, this is the first time the three have collaborated on a mission. Advertisement. First of all, Naruto couldn't help but speak. Little Sakura lost a cleansing technique. I can't stand the smell. The mouth of the white snake is too deadly. Surprisingly, Sasuke agrees with Naruto. The little Sakura immediately formed seals and attracted a gust of wind mixed with water vapor, and the three of them finally regained their refreshment. My lord. In Heron Village, Corazon sat in front of the window with his legs crossed, looking in the direction of the school with a relaxed expression. Itachi, are you wondering why they are asked to do such a dangerous task? They just received the news from Anbu that Rain Shinobi Village united with the traitors from Takehito Village to attack Takihead Village, just before Naruto and his party set off. 0. Itachi shook his head. Your Majesty must have his own intentions. He never intended for Sasuke to live like a flower in a greenhouse, only by killing his own way can he be a real ninja. Corazon chuckled happily. Longyan Village and his party, they will gain something. In the original book, Naruto, Sasuke and small Sakura helped the residents of Takegakure to repel the enemy, and get a gift from Takegakure. Although the time for Rain Shinobi Village to attack Takehidon Village has been brought forward, and Naruto and others have not yet become Jonin, Corazon still believes that they can do it. The task they accepted this time seems to be just to get the hero's water, but in fact it is to help Takian Village win this war. Orochimaru knew it from the very beginning, so even if Naruto and the others didn't speak up, Orochimaru wouldn't help them too much. As a ninja, you still have to fight to get the fastest progress. Little Sakura wore the grass ring that Naruto threw to her on her head, trying to blend in with the surrounding environment as much as possible. Are you good at it? Don't worry, it's definitely possible. I use this trick every time I hide from my master. Naruto blinked his eyes, and the speed of seal formation is extremely proficient, and he has practiced it countless times. 3. Chapter 131 Attack of Rain Shinobi Village. Advertisement. The ninjutsu of stealth is the most used by Naruto after Jiraiya went to Kirin Village. There is no other reason, it is easy to use. Naruto does this every time Jiraiya wants to ask him to pay the bill. Well now, Jiraiya has started to teach in the ninja school. After becoming a mentor, he can not only accept the task, but also get a good salary every month. He is finally not short of money. Naruto almost cried with joy. With the addition of 680, Jiraiya and Tsunade, Orochimaru can be called out to carry out the task, which can be regarded as killing two birds with one stone. The three of them lay obediently in the grass. The location of Longyan village is very secret, but after you find it, you will find that there are not too many fogs and traps in the village. The villagers of Longyan village seem to be not very good at protecting themselves, which further explains why they usually hide from the world. Sasuke used a simple method to quickly find the location of Longyan village, but the situation is not optimistic, and it is not easy for them to show up directly, so they can only hide in the woods and look ahead. Longyan village is different from other villages. The overall building is the same wooden structure as Konoha village, but it looks more dilapidated than Konoha village. The villagers are not all ninjas, and some of them already look like ordinary people. At this moment in front of them, the two sides confronted each other. The four vertical lines that symbolize rain can be clearly seen on the ninja uniforms of one party, and all the ninjas are wearing breathing masks, making them look even more mysterious. Advertisement. At the same time, it is not difficult to guess their identities. Why did the ninjas from Rain Shinobi village appear in Takian village? Little Sakura pushed away a leaf that was blocking her eyes, and asked with some doubts at the same time. They have all learned the symbols of different ninja villages, so they can recognize the people of Rain Shinobi village without fail. But isn't Longyan village a legend that has been hiding from the world? Why do people from Cloud village come here? Moreover, looking at the tense atmosphere between them, it doesn't look like a friendly exchange. Huka, you used to be a ninja from Longyan village, and you actually joined forces with outsiders to attack the village. There are not many Jonins in Longyan village, and all of them have appeared at the front to protect the village behind them. Looking at one of the people in the Rain Shinobi village camp, they all look angry. I am sure to get the water of heroes. If you don't give it to me, don't blame me for taking it in my own way. The ninja known as Shisha sneered, not shy about his identity as a ninja. Master. In the encirclement of Takian village, a ninja, you are just a boy and a half, staring at the hookah as if in disbelief. Why? Why? Shisha smiled contemptuously. Longyan village will only go to perish under your leadership, and I just use the water of heroes to improve my strength and protect the village. Why not? Just because of this, I will be punished. Such Longyan village still exists as it necessary. Boss, don't talk to him too much. Shisha betrayed Longyan village for his own self-interest, and his eloquent tongue can hardly conceal his greedy nature. Longyan village Jonin snorted coldly, and tightly guarded the young man who spoke just now. Chapter 132, Coming for the Water of Heroes. Advertisement. This boy who looks not much older than Naruto and the others is actually the leader of Takigakure village. Takian village is weak, and there is no shadow. Its strongest combat power is only the special Jonin, and the number of this special Jonin is still very small. And Rain Shinobi village is completely different from Takihead village. Although it is equally small, Rain Shinobi village is a place that all countries must contend for. It is a ninja village rich in assassination techniques. And because they are often commissioned by other countries to carry out various types of assassinations, Rain Shinobi village has strengthened the training in this area in recent years, pushed the ability of each ninja to the limit, and developed many unique moves one after another. It can be said that every ninja in Rain Shinobi village is an elite in the assassination world. 16 recognizes money but does not recognize people. Such a cruel and war-filled place is more suitable for Shisha's personality, no wonder he chose to betray Takian village and choose Rain Shinobi village. In comparison, Takian village is more like a place outside the world that ordinary people yearn for. For ninjas, it is a failure. Another reason why there are no strong men in Longyan village is because all of their strong men chose to find other jobs. Like Kakuzu. Another example is Huka. After Kakuzu's betrayal, he joined the Akatsuki organization. Although he disdained Takian village in words, he did not cause war in the end. The hookah is directly marked with the idea of the hero's water. Hookah. The hero's water will never be given to you. Now take people out of Longyan village and let it go. Longyan village didn't know who shouted. Advertisement. Although Longyan village is relatively weak, it may be one of the most united villages. At this moment, no matter men, women, young or old, they all looked at the people in Rain Shinobi village vigilantly, as if vowing to live and die together in Longyan village. Huka, you talk too much nonsense. In the camp of Rain Shinobi village, the leader's tone was cold and hard. Huka, shut up now. He wants to be recognized by Rain Shinobi village and will not offend the people of Rain Shinobi village at this time. In Rain Shinobi village, there is only one family, Hanzo, and all others are like this group, except that they have uniform ninja uniforms. The leader is also a special Jonin. Sheki clenched the stick in his hand, seeing my own master in the past openly betrayed him, and led outsiders to attack the village. The anger and grief coexisted in his chest. I will never let you succeed today. It's just a waste who just arrived in Jonin, and dare to speak so loudly. Shisha snorted coldly, and didn't even say hello to his apprentice. Shisha knew that only by subduing the leader of Longyan village in the shortest possible time would it be possible to shock them. Although Shiki is young and timid by nature, but because he knows his identity, he never dares to be lazy in learning ninjutsu. Even if the hookah was a sneak attack, he had predicted it in advance. War is imminent. Rain Shinobi Village paid for the underwater heroes this time. Jonin took the lead, followed by Anbu, all assassins that Rain Shinobi Village can handle. Although the external strength is genuine, but because the assassins don't need to confront each other head-on, the real level is definitely beyond their displayed ability. Chapter 133 Only Death in Battle. Advertisement. While the Shisha was working, the people of Rain Shinobi Village also moved. They are all assassins, and they never pay attention to saying hello before fighting. A round-headed Rain Shinobi took aim at the residents of Takigakure Village without hesitation. Water body technique show. Everyone could only see countless one-eyed elders with oxygen masks in their mouths and rubber swimsuits on their bodies, looking very burly figures. Rain Shinobi Village, like Kurigakure, is good at water hire. Your Excellency must be Rain Shinobi Village Genin Mengo. Although Longyan Village is weak, it is not completely powerless to resist, and someone jumped out immediately, and accurately recognized Rain Shinobi who did it. 3 of the most feared beings in Rain Shinobi Village. Dream Fire, Oboro and Camp. Meng Huo has already made a move, and the 2 people around him don't need to guess that it must be Oboro and Bon. The hearts of everyone in Longyan Village sank to the bottom. It seems that this time the Shisha is really going to destroy Longyan Village. For a moment, everyone in Longyan Village couldn't help but clench their weapons tightly. They would rather die in battle than surrender like traitors. Shiki was noticed by Shisha when he was in the air, and he hit the chin with an unmistakable uppercut. Shisha looked at Shiki who spat out a mouthful of blood and sneered, "You are my apprentice, and I taught you everything you know, so you want to fight me." The place where Shibuki was hit by the water smoke was painful. If he hadn't reacted in time, he would have been hit by the water smoke of the water smoke long ago. If so, Sheki is also very embarrassed to hide. Advertisement. Longyan Village is destined not to win this battle. But the nature of ninjas still exists in the blood, even if they know that this is a last stand, they will never back down. Shibuki was shot down from midair again. A Jonin from Longyan Village took the opportunity to take his place and faced Shisha. Facing this Jonin, Shisha was much more cautious, which shows that he is not incompetent. Longyan Village is doomed to perish like this. If you want to live a peaceful life, I have no objection at all. As long as you hand over the heroic water, we will withdraw immediately and never invade again. Isn't such a win-win result not good? The water smoke passed over the forest, and the arrogant voice resounded through the world. You think beautifully. Sheki wiped off the blood from the corner of his lips, his eyes were determined. Stubborn. Shisha sarcastically smiled. The general trend of Longyan Village is over, now it is only a matter of time before losing. After they destroy Takian Village, there is no rush to find the location of the hero's water. Obor managed to sneak attack a Jonin before anyone noticed. Although not dead, this Jonin has already lost his fighting power. I want to see who else can help you. Shisha laughed wildly, but the water dragon released was suddenly swallowed by a huge flame dragon. Fire-style Phoenix Fire Technique. Sasuke was the first to intercept Shisha's Shinhao water dragon before Naruto Jr. Sakura. After the Uchiha Itachi incident, what Sasuke hates the most is the betrayer. Although the matter of Uchiha Itachi has been closed later, it was just a last resort, but the seed of this hatred of the betrayer still takes root in his heart. The smile on Shisha's face stopped abruptly, looking at the kid who suddenly joined the battle, he seemed to be guessing who the other party was. The people of Takian Village, revolving heaven must be weak this time, I didn't expect that there would be unexpected suffering.